Okay. Oh, actually, don't do anything yet. I gotta change the audio. Okay. This looks like it's still working. Um, do a quick audio check. Ace, how do you sound?
Check, check, check. How do I sound? Am I okay volume wise? And also, is there any ambient noise or no?
Uh, the audio's good. I feel as if you called it on the latter part. It does seem a bit
Sheesh.
mm, spacious
Running
and
the space heater.
ongoing. Oh, maybe that's it. But it's not the worst thing.
Oh, don't make me forget
Come
that.
on, it's only like below 32.
Exactly.
How about you, Ghost? How do you sound?
Check, 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 check.
Uh, I feel as if you did kind of cut out there for a sec. Do that one time.
Check, 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 check.
Okay. Um, as always, it's sort of the usual joke about I can't confirm your mic location, but and then what about myself? How do I sound volume wise? And am I clear enough? You guys can let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, as y'all know, this is gonna be a long one, but let's try to hone in, focus in, and get it done. And Ace, whenever you have a second, you can check the YouTube stream and let us know if it's up and running and drop something in chat. Make sure that's working all right. Um, I guess I should actually start in this scene, even though I think the names are going to be out of place. Dang, the quiet before the storm, huh?
Ow. Mother.
Guess I could
Sounds
open.
good.
Guess I could open that window real quick and have some outside lighting. Thank you for confirming this. Are we good with everything else, or are you still fussing around with your heat/audio situation?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let's see. I was talking about heat. It's kind of warm for me, actually. Might think about turning on that heat. Or come back online?
What?
Let's see. That's all. That's all the way out of order. Are you coming back online?
Oh, I didn't turn my camera on. Why it turned on?
Oh my god, that's all the way effed up. All right, we're gonna forego that for right now. Then, how do I even? Could I do this? Hold on. What if I do stop watching, and then I do this? Did I just say stop watching? I can't. Hold on. We're gonna. Oh, okay. Here we go. And then do this, and then do this. No, that didn't work. Okay, whatever. Okay. Do I have a screen just for this? Actually, no. Can I make this thing real quick? I feel as if I'm not making good use of time. Okay. You know, we're gonna go straight to here then. So watch stream, and we're gonna go straight to here. Okay. Even though I like to have us a bit blown up so they can all see everyone's shining, bright faces when we do the intro. Well, I will at least do this then. Get rid of this. Get rid of starting soon. Get rid of that. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Start recording. Okay. We're live. We're recording. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, everyone. We're back. Welcome back to the Be Warned to Be Filled podcast, as you already know. We have not everyone here this morning, but we have most of the guys, the crew, the family. We got Ace.
What's up?
We got Ghost.
Yo.
And we got myself, QuestLando. Guys, how we all feeling? How we all doing?
Pretty good.
Actually, pretty good once.
And I myself, well, not at 100%. I am 100% blessed and feeling blessed to be alive. So, as you may or may not know, typically we have a certain structure on this podcast where we, you know, amongst discussing some minor nuances of life, how we all do and how we all feeling, some of the things that we consumed recently, and want to come out here and share as well, getting stuff off our heart, getting stuff off our chest. Once a year, annually, we come together and we do a unique special podcast, particularly at the end of the year. So, as you already see on the screen, we have a nice spreadsheet up. Over here, we love a good spreadsheet. And on this spreadsheet, it has most, if not all, of the hip hop and hip hop adjacent albums that came out in 2024. So, yes, every year we compile all, again, most of the relevant hip hop albums that have dropped, and we pack them on the spreadsheet. And we do what most of y'all or most people don't do, either because of time or because lack of interest or whatever the case may be. We actually take the time to actually go through all these albums. Yes, all the and when I say all, a lot of every time I say all, put an asterisk on it because obviously we're all human here. We do our best to go through all of these albums, consume them front to back, and make sure we have a relatively vetted opinion on them, and come on here, give you our score, and through all our data, we'll spit out what, according to the B1 and B Phil podcast, is the worst albums of the year and the best albums of the year. Yes, like I said, we try to do this every year, and in particular, what makes it unique for us in particular is, well, of course, we listen to a lot of these albums throughout the year when they drop. Um, we for the albums that we don't get to, and some of the albums that we did listen to, but we thoroughly enjoy, we actually listen to them. So for the last 2 weeks, give or take, we've been going through these albums, really giving them the time. even the albums out, even the albums by the artists we don't particularly find favorable, we do the job that not many other podcasts or platforms will. So, you guys can thank us by giving us a like on this video. Anyway, so like I said, we've done this every year on the year for a couple years now, and if you're familiar, there won't really come as many. There won't not anything new or surprising, except the fact that we don't have West on this year. So we'll have to give extra entertaining ratings to fill in the void. But for those who are new, I will briefly run through the rating systems. And obviously, you can see it on, maybe you can zoom in just a bit on the area in question, Ghost. But as you can see, we give a general album rating of 1 through 5, and obviously there are some extra categories that I'll get into. So, starting from the best you can give an album, that is the illustrious 5. Seldom and very few albums receive this score from us. That album is an album of the year project, an album that we feel, well, there's no such, in theory, there's no such thing as a perfect body of work. It's the damn near closest thing you can get to it. A thoroughly enjoyable project from front to back. One that has a lot of talent and uniqueness embedded into it. So yeah, if it's a 5, that's something that probably you've heard of and or you should hear. Then you have 4. 4 is still a top tier dope album. It's one of those albums where, again, if you haven't heard it, you should definitely hear it, and or you probably have heard it. Yeah, whether an album is dope or not, it really reflects how much quality is in that project or not. Then you have 3. 3 is good. 3 is that project that does a lot right. It's not perfect by any means, and it potentially has some duds on it, but it still is an album that's reflective of some level, a decent level of quality. The artists, definitely put their time and effort into it. And while it's not, the best by any means, it's still a pretty decent album. Then we're getting close to the opposite end of the spectrum. 2, mid. Now I know when a lot of people hear mid, especially probably younger folks, when they hear mid, they think trash. But one, well, for one, we have one was definitely equals trash, and for two, mid when you really break it down doesn't mean it's absolutely bottom tier trash. Mid just means it doesn't have a lot of redeeming qualities. Mid is actually, it stands for like middle, by the way, but it's just not hitting far enough, but it doesn't have that stench that you would qualify as trash. And then at the one tier, that's trash. That's that absolute consumed it, heard it, gave it a real chance and didn't like it. Some could say this is the worst rating an album can give. And we have, this spreadsheet is not just, a bunch of numbers. We actually have formulas that compute, that give us some understanding of some of these numbers. But focusing on the ratings right now, again, one is that bottom tier, and again, it'll make more sense once we go through some of the other metrics. But one, again, can be established as one of the worst projects and one of the worst ratings because it's a project, that we consumed, we listened to it, probably front to back or with minimal skips. But at the end of the day, nah, that ain't it, dog. So it's a Breakfast Club. So as we notice, there's also some other score ratings because here on the We Want Be Filled podcast, 1 through 5, doesn't always fit the category criteria of what we're trying to establish here. So obviously, like I said, we're nowhere near perfect here, and we don't have the time, capacity, or wherewithal sometimes to listen to all these albums. So that's how we introduce some of these other categories, like the 0.5. And I know what you're thinking. How can an album get a 0.5? What's going on here? So 0.5, if we ever give out a 0.5 to an album, that means we didn't listen to it, but heavy emphasis on the but would be interesting to listen. Would be interested in listening to it. So obviously, there are a bunch of artists on here. Damn near every artist that dropped something this year. And a lot of these artists, we actually do have some level of fondness, or we heard a song from them before that we did enjoy, or a project, but for whatever reason, we just didn't get the chance to. So that's what this category represents. It's an album that we didn't listen to, for whatever reason, but we do have interest in it. That little bit of interest in an album that otherwise didn't get listened to. Then we have 0, another category you could argue is the worst. 0 is that nothing score, an album that didn't get listened to, and we have 0. That's where the 0 comes in. 0 interest in listening to it. We didn't hear it, and we don't want to. That's going to be those projects by those artists that we have heard before, and I guess maybe didn't, and nothing about that artist. Nothing about the artist, that project, or anything surrounding it increases our desire to want to go listen to that album. Now, arguably, some people could say this is unfair. How can you create something that you haven't listened to? And, we're not perfect again. There could be that 1 in a million album that we give a 0, but if we actually did give the time of day to listen to, we would be like, oh, this is actually a 4 or 5. But we're relatively veterans of, giving it relative, listen to music and be able to consume it and digest it and give it a fair shot. And it is what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, you could also say it's not. I say you could also say it's not unfair because of how we average things out in the end too. So if you think it's unfair that we would give something a 0 and then that would skew our data, we account for that.
Precisely. And last but not least, we actually did add something a bit different this year. So, and we're testing it, playing around with it. But we also added a -1 category. So, like I said, there are some other categories on this list, or this rating list, that note to an album being absolutely, positively awful, bottom of the barrel. We rather the artist not have put it out. But Life's all about balance. And seeing how we have an album of the year rating, it's almost fitting that it would make sense that you have a worst album of the year category. And I don't know what WOT means, Ghost, but that should
Worst
be.
of all time.
How
This
can
is
album be?
this
No,
is not just reserved for
it
like
has to be.
bad albums of the year.
It has to be worse
This
to me.
is
It absolutely has to
well,
be.
these albums transcend being worst of the year and
There's no
reach
way the worst
legendary
project
tier.
of all time came out in 2024. Please,
Well, it's
please
it
put
with the
that.
understanding
Please
we
change it to Wody.
understand that when people say GOAT and stuff like that, they don't always mean the greatest of all time singularly. It's more representative. So that's a similar.
We don't have goat on here. We have AOTY.
Yes, it's just for consistency's sake. Um. So yeah.
You can tell who needed the negative one.
Although I am interested because I feel as if you do have an album in mind that's worth it. Um. So I'm interested to see. Um. To hear rather what if anything y'all give that negative one. If it basically if it album gets a negative one, which technically only one plus or minus album should get a negative one. It's literally the worst, and I think we're all about giving out praise in art and flowers to certain product artists. So you also got to give out what's the opposite of flowers? Is that a bag of poop? Anyway, you got to give people the credit they deserve, whether it's awful or not, or whether it's gold. So yeah, now that you have the rating systems, we're gonna try to spare no time and get into it. Obviously, we want to be concise and be mindful of everybody's time here. The one last disclaimer I will give is I do give sincere apologies. I'm actually not feeling 100% at my best today, recovering from a cold symptoms. Can't even talk properly. So I will not necessarily be my usual enthusiastic, charismatic, all that jazz, and I might even talk a bit less than usual. But we do appreciate any and all who stumble upon our stream, whether it's via X/Twitter, scrolling on not scrolling. We actually are anti-scrolling here. Pass them through on the YouTubes, or you just know about our podcast in general. We greatly appreciate it, and we hope that while everyone's I know some people are working. Well, most people are taking a break from work. Spending time with family, maybe shoveling snow because probably depending where you're at, a bit of snow has fell. You have some time for yourself, early morning, sit back, don't think too much, and just listen to a couple of folks babble about their favorite and or least favorite albums. So I could go on to talk about the next podcast that we'll do, which will involve giving our favorites of other categories, but we're here to focus on this right now. So, without further ado, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right, so let's get right into it. So, who better to start at 21 Savage? Somebody with a number in their name. Not this is in alphabetical order or alphanumerical order. So, 21 Savage, American Dream. And for how we're going to go about it, I'm still thinking about it in my mind, but as of right now, we'll just start off with me and go down the line. Pardon me. Sorry, I got my tea and my green drink with me, so I might be, Anyway, so 21 Savage, American Dream. I actually find 21 Savage to be a relatively dope artist. A lot of the verses they drop are relatively dope. IMO. But, and I hate to start off negative on the first project, if I'm being ultra honest, a lot of the sounds and just general songs that 21 drops himself don't necessarily capture a lot of what I like. A lot of it's kind of like a very simplistic version of the genre that he plays well into. Kind of a street gangster, trenches music. You know, obviously salute to Atlanta, but again, it just doesn't necessarily capture the type of that genre of music that I like. And I think it definitely comes out when he's doing his own projects and or records. Like a lot of when he really shines is when he's on features. Like this is so many 21 Savage features that I thoroughly enjoy. But as in the project itself, and again, I know it kind of sucks to start off on a sorrow note, but this project I would definitely deem like a two. It's mid. And actually, I'll wait till we get through our all three of us to kind of speak towards what's happening when we all put our numbers in. Go ahead, Ace. What do you think?
Um, so I did not listen to this album,
Great start.
and yeah, pretty much for the reasons that you just said. I've been into like 21's features, or at least some of the features he's done. They've been pretty excellent, but yeah, the projects that he's released himself or with Drake um definitely soured me towards his sound. So this is not something. I mean, maybe I should give it a 0.5. I'll try it, but I'm not too inclined to. So it's more realistically a zero.
Oh, all
And
right, yeah.
Ghost.
Uh, this is a one. This is a really bad album for me. Again, I'm not a huge fan of 21, but I'll always give this project a shot. The features are pretty good, but this album was just really unenjoyable, forgettable. Never gonna listen to it again. Easy one.
Dang, to the point. And well, it kind of sucks to get these low scores on the first thing we mentioned. Hey man, that's just how the dice roll. So as you can see, if you're looking, we appreciate the audio only listeners. If you are paying attention to what's going on the screen. So as we populate our spreadsheet with these numbers, it spits out one, the album total average score. So score will be reflective of the average score of all three of us, and you know, since we like to cover most of our bases, we also give the album total average score of listen to only. So if you're somebody that's a diehard, you should not be speaking on an album that you have not listened to. Don't worry, we got you. For the folks that have listened to it, we give the average score based off the only the people that have listened to it. So it's a nice rounded. You get everything. So yeah, if there's any comments, questions, or concerns about our rating systems, definitely feel free to let us know. And depending on the tonality of it, we'll send it right to the spam folder. Anyway, moving right along. Next, we have Kid Cudi, Insano. If you know anything about me, I definitely super appreciate Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi is often in my top 5 or top 10. I You're never gonna make me not like Kid Cudi, even outside of some of the weird directions he goes in sometimes. And speaking of weird directions, well, I don't think this album is a huge departure or something that is outside the realm. But I think Cudi would produce. Um, it definitely doesn't necessarily move me a lot, and that's for better for worse. It's just one of those things where when your favorite artist doesn't necessarily put out something that you thoroughly enjoy, and you appreciate the fact that they're still making music, and just hope that the next time when they get back in the booth, they will produce something that's more of your taste. Um, I don't think anything Kid Cudi produced will ever be less than a two, but this was kind of pushing it. So not sound like a broken record, but I'm also giving this a two. Ace.
Yeah, Kid Cudi has been more miss than hit for me over the years. Sometimes his voice can be very grating. His I don't know, his song structure and it's just a lot of times it doesn't work. So um I I pretty much have only gotten into any of Kid Cudi's stuff because of Quest influence. So Quest didn't like it that much, it's just gonna be a zero for me.
Yeah, this is an easy zero. Like I am the more I listen to Kid Cudi, the more I hear of him, the more surprised I am that he even has fans because I think he's just a bad artist and he just keeps getting worse. So I have absolutely no interest in honestly ever listening to any of his projects again, for being very honest. But yeah, easy zero. Never gonna touch this.
Fair enough. Obviously, with that little bit of praise I gave him at the end, I feel my debate bones kind of starting to rumble. But I'll save it. We're only 2 albums in. Next, Benny the Butcher. Everybody can't go. So, um, spoiler alert. I don't know what's actually I do know why. Um, as it pertains to Griselda and Griselda related albums, this year I didn't find myself having a high level interest, and I was gonna say for whatever reason, but to be honest, I think it's largely because of the separation that this group, these brothers, have kind of taken, and that's really I don't want to get on a whole rant soapbox thing, but this year, not this year, but in recent times with the not with obviously across music in general, but there's been a lot of um, separation and or a lack of collaboration. And I don't mean collaboration like people aren't doing features, but it's not that tight knit like 20 early 2010s era labels and cliques and groups really linking up to do like when's the last time there's been a collaboration album akin to like the Good Fridays or type joints, like that just doesn't exist anymore. And I say all that to say, because again, I don't want to talk too much. I say all that to say my interest in Griselda has a bit waned a bit, um, but I've always spoke highly of Ben Butcher in particular. I think he kind of stands out as far as like a rapper that makes their type of music, um, can make really high quality songs. You know, production. You know the melody of it, so to speak. So this is gonna be my first point 0.5.
All right. It's kind of crazy, but well, it's not crazy, but exactly what you said about the interest in Griselda projects kind of waning. I agree 100% there. I wasn't aware that have they like officially split up, or is it just that you're
Don't.
yeah,
This is not hip hop news. I don't think there's an official thing, and I think
okay, yeah.
they're probably not enemies, but not probably not a beef, but they're not collaborating.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, outside of that, it's just I don't know, maybe it's that they release too much music as well. Um like if you get too inundated, it's like, all right, like are these all really good? So,
What do you mean? You gotta feed your fan base.
I know, it's a catch 22. But yeah, Benny the Butcher is like he's probably my top out of the Griselda crew, um, in terms of, one that I resonate with the most. But but yeah, I didn't get to this one, and I still have interest, so I'll give it the 0.5 for sure, but um definitely not as prioritized as stuff has been in previous years.
This
Ghost.
was this one I listened to back when it came out, like at the beginning of the year, and wasn't too impressed. Very mediocre. I haven't returned to it once, and it's been basically 12 months since I listened to it. So yeah, this is a two. In general, I've been kind of disappointed with his recent projects. It feels like there's less effort, mostly on the production side and crafting the album. It just kind of feels he's just throwing stuff out there. So yeah, wasn't super impressed.
Jeez, the first 3 albums, and look at the averages. But like I said, we're here to be relatively fair. We're not here to just give out a bunch of, oh yeah, this artist is dope. Let's give him fours and fives. No. Anyway, now and speaking of an artist, I have no qualms about giving low scores. Basically, oh sorry. Next is Kevin Gates' Ceremony. Basically, everything that Ghost said about Kikadi, I placed that on Kevin Gates. Obviously, no, malice, but I just don't necessarily see the appeal of Kevin Gates at all. At one point in time, I maybe would have put them in the category of artists that, while I have zero interest in their music, I find their personality kind of engaging. But a lot of what they've morphed into, and especially in more recent years, just like sex pests, weird behavior. So I have like zero interest at all. This is an emphatic zero.
Yep, I'm gonna have to agree there. I'm not too familiar with his music, but I know he's like a Southern rapper, and it's kind of like the typical type of Southern rap that I don't like. So, if he's Native American, that's a good album cover, but zero.
Yeah,
What?
easy zero.
We're gonna Euro step past that, but okay.
Yeah.
Next, Kanye
First
West
Kanye album.
and Ty Dolla Sign. Vultures one. Ah, man, it's such a shame. I wonder. I'm on record. Kanye is arguably the greatest artist musical of all time. But in the same vein, I wonder how many, because of all the like, obviously that those first three, Dark Twisted Fantasy. There's no we all know Kanye's resume, but I wonder how many bad or lower end of the spectrum albums you get before you get to keep that title, and then we just get right back to like Michael Jackson or Prince or Beyonce or whatever the case would be. Anyway, yeah, Kanye West. It's really a shame. No, actually, it's not a shame. I mean, it's literally what happens when going back to like the lack of Good Friday type Cruel Summer projects. This is what happens when you like burn all your bridges. Like, like we laugh artists like Two Chains and Big Sean, and to some degree people laugh Push D out the way, out the park. But I mean, if you lose all of them and all you're stuck with is Ty Dolla Sign and Playboy Cardi, obviously the music is just going not. It's just going to start to like degrade. And obviously, some of the newer sounds that Kanye is messing with. Obviously, I think Kanye still has a lot of, um, I don't want to say genius, but a lot of ideas to put into music. And I think we could see like high level projects from Kanye one day. But these voice projects where he's doing a high level collaboration with Ty Dolla Sign, which I really think Ty Dolla Sign fits Kanye well, but you can't make a project off of it. I do like some of the collaboration there with Charlie Wilson still. That grabbed my attention, but other than that, I'm gonna be honest, it pains me. Or I never thought I would have seen it, but a Kanye album, this Kanye album is it's two, and it's pushing it. Nice.
Yeah, Kanye in recent years has not produced any music that I like, so I have no reason to believe that anything on this album change that. I didn't listen to it. It's a zero.
Dang, I ain't not give Kanye a listen to.
I probably should
Uh,
have, but
yeah, honestly, exact same for me. I don't think Kanye's had a really good project since 10 years ago with Yeezus. So, yeah, I have no interest in listening to this. I already subjected myself to Donda and Donda 2, and I don't feel like giving him any more chances until he comes out with something that's really compelling. So, yeah, zero.
We always bump into this band. It's not the time and place to have it, but no, you're tweaking. The Life of Pablo
Dog,
is
bro,
definitely
no, it is
a
not.
great project.
No,
That's
it
oh
has
yeah, no, Life
some
of Pablo is
good
great.
songs.
Yeah.
It is not a y'all holding on to like three really good tracks. Yo, that album is
yes,
20.
you're
It's
right.
20 tracks long,
You're right. You're yes.
and most of it is bad.
Three good tracks a good project makes. Yes, I agree.
Well, that's if that's your metric, that's fine. But for me, an album needs to be put together and cohesive to be good. And Life Pablo is not good.
Anyway, Life Pablo didn't come out 2024, so we won't dwell on it. Next, we have Frank Montana Mac and Cheese 5. So, I don't know where I quite stand on French Montana as a whole,
You don't. I
but
do.
well, you'll get your turn. But I think I could. They might be literally middle of the road where I can say equally positive things as much as I can say negative things. Um, this is definitely a project I wanted to consume just to give it a real fair chance, and I did get a chance. And I'm be honest, pleasantly surprised. I
Oh,
think
hell.
French Montana does a lot well. I don't know what to tell you. Like he taps into
Are you trolling right now?
sir, sir.
Sorry, continue.
He taps into the elements that he needs to, like whether it be like the Bronx element, the Middle Eastern element. I'm not I have no problems with French Montana, and I not sure anyone aware or cares, but I think he has a relatively compelling story to tell. Um, so yeah, I'll be honest. I was into this and I came away with it, especially like it even starts off really well, which I'm gonna get into a whole thing about intros and outros later. This is definitely for me. It's a three. It's a good album.
Holy shit. No way, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't listen to this one. I remember, well, last project we had French Montana, I gave it a one. And I remember the sound being like okay, but at the same time, so middle of the road that it was just like after very few tracks, I had no interest anymore. And I mean, this is based off of that. It's even kind of surprising that I gave it a one and not a two. But either way, like I don't think I have any interest in this, regardless of if it could be better than that one or not. It's just his sound is too middle of the road for me, so I'll have to go zero.
I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe right now. But French Montaigne is dog shit, and I'm never gonna listen to one of his projects again. Zero.
Obviously, I'm not gonna spend my time trying to convince anybody on French our site French Montana, but let's be clear. Like this is as that y'all or you could guess up that I could say the same. But anyway, and also this are my just to make I'm not saying anything. Scroll back up. Out of how many projects, according to this
You
data,
you
you haven't
rated
listened to
French
any?
Montana the highest. That's
No, that's not
crazy.
what's surprising. Surprising is Ace hasn't listened to any of them yet. Maybe I
We'll
guess
get
it's
to
a good.
mine.
I guess it's a good point in time to point out the fact that I'm pretty sure y'all listen to this next one, but okay, just go ahead and make sure we're credible here. So next, Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips. Um, Schoolboy Q and TD artists, whether former or current, also kind of fit in that category of like my interest has waned a bit, because of the lack of like black hippie related collaborations, and we're gonna get to it with some maybe more Kendrick centric albums, but they're collaborating with other artists that don't necessarily fit the bill of what I have high level interest. So I didn't necessarily have a lot of interest before I heard it, and also I know it's not necessarily the best way. Actually, I could argue it's a fine way. It's not necessarily the best way, but for certain artists, I definitely hang towards the projects that I thoroughly enjoyed, um, like that they previously dropped. Schoolboy Q in particular, like the Oxymoron Project was such a like historically favorite album of mine. Even Happens Contradictions. Oh, there's just so many projects that this brother dropped before that I really can listen to for the rest of my life. And some of the more recent projects, even that Blank Face album, I didn't like.
Really?
But
Oh,
speaking correct, but speaking of the Blue Lips, there's to be honest, the problem with this project and with a lot of projects, I don't know about this year, but maybe recently, for me, is that there is some good records, but it's also just surrounded by a bunch of records that they just feels like they're just like you could have just put them on a separate EP or something. Like they didn't necessarily need to be on a project. And now I'm looking at the entire project, based off that. Um, yeah, it's just it doesn't necessarily it makes me take away the takeaway is like less than it could have been. Um, but the rapping on this project is there's still some really good rapping. In particular, there's a record I forget the sister's name. Um, what's the sister? I forget her name.
Rico
Who's feet?
Uh,
Nasty?
Huh?
You talking about Rico Nasty?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're I like that
oh
record.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, but so all that to say, there's some good rapping. There's some good flows. There's some good storytelling. I would heavily encourage them to kind of get rid of some of the fat when they make projects. But who am I? It's Schoolboy Q. They deserve that 3. But again, this is really pushing it. Yes.
All right, for me, my kind of similar to what you said about like reflecting on the artist's past projects and having that influence your perception of what they're putting out now. Only difference is I love Blank Face, and that's that's what I hold up all Schoolboy Q's projects up to. Um, but yeah, so like going into this one, I
Blank
didn't
Face
have
is
the
a lot
highest
better than
expectations.
Oxymoron, but that's neither here nor there.
That's whatever. I didn't have the highest expectations because I wasn't really into his last project, but and I think like that kind of soured my first listen, but after a couple repeat listens, this one definitely grew on me. I was able to appreciate like you were saying, there's a lot of very, I don't know, like disparate sounds on here where you, you don't really know what to expect in terms of the sound from one track to the next. There's a lot of beat switches where it's just like feels very abrupt. Um, and his flows, like all of that can feel very jarring at times, but I think after after a couple listens, I was able to appreciate what he was doing more. Um, and yeah, the album grew on me. So I am going to give it. I'm teetering between a 3 and a 4. I'll give it a 3, a high, very high 3.
So yeah, I greatly enjoyed this project. Kind of similar to y'all, I wasn't a huge fan of his last one. I agree with Ace. I think uh, Blank Face is his best product, to be honest.
Y'all are
Uh,
stoned.
but I don't think I was necessarily holding those albums up in comparison when I was listening to this. It was more so just um my disinterest with him over the past few years because he hasn't been putting out a lot. And this last album wasn't super great. That's really why I didn't have super high expectations, but I was extremely and pleasantly surprised by how much I like this one. I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like it wasn't as cohesive. There wasn't like a running theme, but I liked the beat switches. I liked the kind of unpredictability. Plus, it had one of my favorite tracks of the year by the Mac Miller tribute, Blue Slides. Like that, I love that track so much. But yeah, this is a 4 for me. I was going back and forth between a 4 and a 5. It There are enough, I don't want to say filler tracks, but tracks that aren't super standout that I can't give it a 5. But yeah, I really like this album a lot.
Nice. Not to harp on it, but I can name at least 3 tracks off of that Blank Face project that y'all would skip every time, but that's neither nor there. Next, Kyle, Smile Again. Seemed like there was a mouth aesthetic thing going on here. Kyle, I super appreciate Kyle. I don't care what nobody says. In a era where everyone either sounds like Atlanta down south trap artist, West Coast Blueface offshoot, or still clinging on to some '90s New York sound. We have artists like Kyle that's relatively unique and not really replicatable. Well, not that it can't be replicated, not that you can't replicate them, but nobody is. Um, but all the praise aside, I actually didn't get a chance to listen to this project. So I'll give it the 0.5. I would be curious to know what they were doing on there.
Uh, I'm gonna give this a zero. I'm not sure if I actually know who this guy is, but
See,
if I am
and I
correct,
kept saying we should. I kept saying you guys might not know, so let's listen to it. You see what happens?
You
uh,
know Kyle. He had that I Spy track.
I spy.
I
Wait,
Spy
did he
with
do
my
anything
little
with? Yeah,
eye. Yeah, that's when he
okay,
did
this
with
is
Yachty.
sounding really bad. All right, yeah, zero, zero.
Yeah, this is a zero, bro. Like Kyle has always been extremely corny and cringeworthy to me. I don't know where we ever heard
He's
anything
intentionally.
compelling.
It's not
Hell
about his,
nah.
who
Hell
who
nah.
said compelling, but he's unique.
He's
Anyway,
compelling enough to get a point 0.5, but yeah, keep
I did not give him
pushing.
the 0.5 because he's compelling. Let's not just make up stuff now.
You feel compelled to listen to the album at some point,
Oh
so
my
by
gosh.
extension,
Let's don't listen. Let's
I don't even
okay.
understand what's the
Okay.
pushback.
Okay, English professor. Let's not twist people's words. That's all I'm saying. Next we have Bossman D-Lo, Mr. Beat the Road. If I'm not mistaken, his brother was one of
You're not
the
mistaken.
double XL freshmen was. Oh, double XL freshman. Um, yeah, just like I kind of predicted, none of the freshmen really stood out to me. If I or not this didn't stand out to me. My apologies, because the Mexican OT definitely stood out, and but they didn't necessarily hold my attention, except the Mexican OT. Yeah, I have no interest in this zero.
This dude had a trash, trash, trash verse in the freshman type verse. Absolutely a zero.
If I'm being honest, I don't really remember his freshman performance, which probably speaks to how good it was or bad it was. But I always give the freshman a little bit of a try after the KSI. So 0.5. You never know. You might have a sleeper track on there. You never
That
know.
K size shit was super surprising.
That was the craziest thing ever.
That was a wave of emotions. Anyway, next we have Flo Millie, Fine Host Day. You know what's crazy? I actually did listen to this, and I forgot I did, which is not good. Um, Flo Millie's obviously super talented. Could definitely put a verse together. But this, oh man, that's crazy. No, it actually is good. It actually is a decent project. It doesn't stick with me. Like I can't necessarily. When I saw the title, I actually do remember some of the like the sounds of the album. It's mid for me.
I'm gonna go zero based on my last rating of her project, which I think was a two.
Look where we're going based off of what I did last time. Sorry.
Um, this is a zero. I don't have a huge problem with Flo Milli, but it's just kind of like doesn't make music for me that I'd be interested in. So yeah, a zero.
I'm taking that. Oh, sorry. Next, gotta remember to say the name first. Next, Tara Whack, Worldwide Whack. I take that sentiment and I apply it to Tara Whack. Obviously, there's a lot of talent there. Um, obviously, tremendous talent to be honest. But it just doesn't stick to me. It doesn't connect. I don't know. Maybe it's because it gets a bit too. What's a what's a better word for weird? I don't know. It doesn't hit to me. I don't like it. Um, just zero.
This is a one for me. I was teetering on a two for a while, but god damn, I don't know why she it doesn't sound like she wants to make music or wants to be rapping when she raps. She's just playing around on the mic. Like I don't it becomes grating after a while. So she has talent, but she just does not use it, in my opinion. So that's a zero.
Um, I don't know where you're seeing this talent. To be honest, where y'all seeing
They
this
are
talent,
talented.
She has
dog.
talent.
Wes has been gassing her up for years, and I've been on the hate train for years. And the more I listen, the more I just don't understand why people like her at all. This is a one for me, like close to a negative one. It was really bad. It was one of the toughest listens of the year to power through. Like it's a pop rap album that isn't good pop, isn't good rap. I hated it. Very fitting album title.
Jesus. Anyway, next we have Future Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You. Now, this is an album that we probably could spend a few minutes on if we had time. Obviously, an album that had a song that sparked a lot of emotion this year. Um, yeah, there's a lot that happened because album, but all the um, things that it sparked aside, there's actually some songs that I generally like outside of everything. Like you could have took the like that song off of it, and there's still some songs that I just generally like on this album, which is surprising because I don't necessarily find Future to be an amazing artist. IMO, um, and I don't know if I put Metro Boomin on a top tier producer level either. And some of the shenanigans outside of music definitely don't help. But we're not here to speak on everything. Yeah, this project was good. I don't know any other way to put it. And obviously, you have to kind of give it some level of credit for everything that came out of it. But if I'm just focused on the particular music on the album, I liked it. In particular, that the record with the weekend, Young Metro, Fiddly, appropriately titled. So yeah, and I think this is an album that I think we both have brought a song for like song selection of the week. So I don't know. It's surprisingly just sonically had some good sounds. I give it a three.
Ah,
I'll
so
be conservative with my fours and five, but they're coming soon.
I every time we come on here, I feel like, oh, this year I did pretty good with the album listens, but this is a zero for me. I never got to it, and I don't have any intention to because I do not like.
You heard like that?
I know, but that was because of the future. I mean, the feature. Future. I do not. I can't listen. I mean, I can't stand the whole project from him without starting to cringe. So I have no intention of listening to this whole project.
Uh this one is kind of interesting because if I just listened to it front to back, it'd probably be like a two. But I heard like some of the singles sporadically. Obviously, like that was huge, and there were some very enjoyable tracks. Overall, I don't think it's a bad project. It's kind of just listening to too much feature in a row, it gets grating. But because of how I listened to it, I'll give this one a three. It was good. I think Type Shit was my favorite track off this one with Travis Scott and Cardi, but pretty decent project.
Fair enough. Next we have Jordan Lucas. Not now. I'm busy. I don't know if there should be comment between that. Anyway, Jordan Lucas, Massachusetts own. Um, Definitely an artist that is carrying on, prioritizing skill and creativity as it pertains to like uh, definitely incorporating some type of message or super incorporated theme in his music. Um, for those who don't know, it's very Eminem esque. Um, it sucks because even in saying that, I don't know if I'm looking for that a lot. A lot of times I bump into Jordan Lucas, and that's when I give it the credit that it deserves. Um, uh, it's not a zero. It's definitely a point 0.5, but it would be at like the end of my point 0.5 list.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this point 0.5 as well. I I'm not as exhausted of the Eminem esque um rappers as you guys seem to be. And I definitely appreciate his talent, but yeah, I never got to it. So
Um, yeah, this is a zero. I've never heard a single Jordan Lucas track I liked. I don't think it's gonna start now. No interest. And by the way, just as much as I appreciate the intros and uh, detailed discussion, we're on pace to be spending like 5 hours going through this list. So we might need to go through it a little quicker, unfortunately.
We do the best we can. Next we have Shabbat Palace. Exotic Birds of Prey. Yeah, man, I'm gonna start with y'all because we listened to this, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can start if you
I
want.
don't think I listened to this. It
Oh,
might have
I
been
thought you
y'all.
did.
Okay, when I say we, 2 out of 3 at least. Yeah, go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, this Shabazz Palaces, they are a very abstract rap group, and I have appreciated some of their stuff in the past, but even for me, like their stuff can be very, I mean, too abstract. And this is an example of that, where it's just like I don't know what you're actually trying to do here. So I'm gonna give it a one, to be honest. I just did not like it at all. So,
Wrong person. But to be honest, you can leave the one
Oh,
there because you can leave the
oh
one there
damn.
because yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I know we made intentional effort because like Shabbat Palace is making music. We gotta check that out.
right.
But yeah, I can't remember like specific tracks. My perception of it was like we listened to it, I consumed it, but it just I don't know maybe went in one ear and out the other is one of the better descriptions. It didn't land. I'm sorry. Y'all are iconic in name, but in some of your classics, but not today. Not with this.
Yeah, how y'all described it, I pretty much agree. I didn't even fully listen to this one. Like I tried. I got through maybe halfway, which I guess is enough to say I got a one. But like half the tracks, I couldn't even. I just had to skip like a minute in because it was just so unenjoyable. And I'm wondering like, is this even music? So I didn't fully listen to it. I'm still giving it a one from what I listened to, and based on y'all rating.
Next, Trippy Red and Machine Gun Kelly, genre sad boy. If y'all know anything about me, I don't necessarily mind the music aesthetic, and I actually don't mind Machine Gun Kelly, but I horribly dislike or tremendously dislike Trippy Red. So this is
My
getting a zero.
man.
This is getting a zero.
100% agree. This is zero. Anything related to Trippier.
Damn, I love it. People don't be hating on Chippy Red enough. Like this is a zero just for the album name. It's cringe as hell.
Next, Bryson Tiller, aptly titled Bryson Tiller. I think Bryson Tiller, I'm gonna say this every time he drops on a project, is one of the dopest R&B artists alive, just because of trap, soul, and everything that spawned and created. My interest in Bryson Tiller has not been able to be maintained because it got kind of more pop and an R&B wave that I just don't have interest in. So this is zero for me.
Zero for me. I don't really like R&B pop type stuff. So yeah, zero.
Um, I'll give this a two, but it wasn't trash. I listened to it when it came out like some months ago. Nothing stuck with me. Not really compelling at all. Um, I think this had the whatever she wants on it, which is the popular song, but it's super catchy. Um, it wasn't bad. I'll give it a two. It's just I'm never gonna really listen to it again, but could have been worse.
J. Cole might delete later.
Ooh.
I will give people the Spark Notes version, even though I do have an entire podcast worth of things to say about this particular project. Um, it is Grammy nominated. If Cole did end up winning a Grammy, that would be funny. It would be the funniest ironic thing if he won based off this album. To cut it short, this album is not a J Cole quality project. I think this is an example of a very rushed um, project of songs that aren't necessarily the worst, but are being put out for like the purpose of trying to interact or engage in like a beef that you ultimately didn't even want to engage in, which ultimately sorrows the music even worse. I think 7 Minute Drill, the now infamous record, which has now been pulled off of um, some of the streaming services, if I'm not mistaken, that does boost it by some, and obviously the record with Daylight and Absol. Like there's obviously elements of like I'm not just gonna put out. I'm not gonna put out something for the sake of putting it out. I'm still going to use stuff that I've been sitting on and or I want the world to hear. And even some of the verses in some of the other songs, they're not bad by any means. But as a whole, I would rather him have not put this out. I'd rather him have deleted it immediately, not later. Um, yeah, it pains me to say it, but ugh, I don't know. The 7 minute drill, 7 minute drill doesn't save it. It's a one. It's really bad. I really don't like it. It's one of those situations where I'm being a bit harsher on it because I like the artist even more. It's a one. It's trash.
Yeah, this is a 0 for me. I probably would have listened to it if you guys didn't just keep saying how bad it is over the course of the year. Pie is a great track. I got it as a top track in the comment there, but yeah, I have no intention of going back and listening to the rest.
Um, my take on it is pretty much in exactly in line with yours, Quest. I find it very funny and ironic that the entire reason he put this out was kind of just as a vehicle to get 7 minute drill out there, and he deleted it 2 days later. So
He should just put down. He should just put out that record just alone.
yeah, exactly. Just keep that as a single. If this is another artist, I'd give it a two. Like I'm really back and forth between a one and a two because it's not like offensively bad. Just like if it was some random artist off the street, but because it's J Cole, because of the whole situation, and just how disappointing it was, I'm giving it a one. Unfortunately, what's crazy is he dropped the Forest Hills Drive Deluxe, and that had like every single track on that. The new tracks was better than this project. Every single one. Wow.
Next we have Glorilla. Everything. I just got to put the kind of New Orleans, Louisiana accent on it, but I'm not gonna do that right now because of my illness. My apologies. Um, I haven't listened to this one in its entirety. We listened to the other project they dropped, but I know this one does have one of their big singles on it. Yeah, Glow, I believe. Um, so I'll kind of save my Glorilla takes with later, but yeah, I'm obviously not listening to a Glorilla project. This is zero. It's a zero. Obviously not.
I might give it a 0.5. The Yaglo track is pretty darn catchy. Well, I didn't get to it.
Um, I'll give it a. I don't know. This is a zero. Like, I don't mind Glorilla, and I think I like her personality, but the other Glorilla album we listened to wasn't super compelling. Again, not because it's bad, just not for me. So I don't know. If you listen to it, Ace, and you think it's good, then I'll change my score. But for now, it's zero.
Next, we have Future and Metro Woman. We still don't trust you, just in case you thought we did. Anyway, um, because the other one was actually has some quality in it, I have less of an issue coming on here and saying I have zero interest in going and listen to this one. I think artists should kind of stick to a one album per year and then maybe EP on the side thing, not no double thing, not no double up. Um, but there is some things on here I want to listen to. There's a couple of weekend features, so I'll go to 0.5.
0 once again. No interest in future.
Yeah, even though I gave the other one a three, this is a zero. Like, it's 25 tracks. We kind of got the point the first time around. I feel like there's not going to be anything that I'm really interested in on this. No, no,
Next we have Party Next Door.
no interest
Party.
to it.
Oh my, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, nothing. I was just finishing up saying I don't have any compulsion to listen to it.
Got you. Next we have Party Next Door. Party Next Door 4, the fourth installment, if you will. Anyway, Party Next Door is not my, is one of those definitional artists of like he made that banger and recognized, but I'm not checking for Party. This is zero.
0, and I don't know what banger he made, but I doubt
He
I
Recognize.
has, he
liked
has
it.
multiple like
Drake.
I doubt it.
break from
I,
Toronto. Uh,
Trust me, I doubt I like them.
Well, by
nah,
the
Break.
way,
You, I
a
think you actually
banger,
If
like
you're bringing
banger,
up Drake too,
High
banger,
Hopes.
banger does not equal. You will like it. Banger equals it was a banger. Like everyone was
oh,
talking
okay,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
By the way,
This is a point five. I do check for party just because a lot of his projects overall aren't good, but they usually have like one or two tracks that I really do like. Um, and this one had like a snippet of a track, like I've heard in like a YouTube short or something that I say, oh, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna listen to it.
Next, we have four bats. You made me a star with a four in it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's one of those things where I try to erase from my mind. But when I think of four bats, what song do I think of Ghost?
Uh, the the one he did with Drake, the something ATL. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Okay, that's what I thought. Um, I don't know. I don't like four bats. I think there's, yeah. There's no way. There's zero. I have no
Damn.
interest.
Oh yeah. If Quest don't like him and he did a track with Drake, is a zero.
Don't do that. Use your own mind.
I heard like a few of the singles leading up to this album. I didn't listen to it in its entirety. Like that track isn't bad, but I don't know. I kind of had more interest before he got the Drake co-sign. Not even because Drake featured, but just because of track record with Drake artists and how they fall off tremendously, kind of. Um. So yeah, it's a zero.
Next, we have Chief Keef Almighty So 2. Another project we listen to, another project you guys listen to, so you can have an opinion on it. Chief Keef is a quote unquote legend, has bangers. I was interested to know what he sounds like in this day and age. It doesn't move the needle at all. I think from a public standpoint and from definitely from my standpoint, it's a one. I'm sorry. I do want to be kind of sparingly with the ones, but it's really something you're not gonna bump again. IMO.
Yeah, this project I kind of stumbled into while you guys were listening, and it was garbage. I did not have any intention to go in and finish or listen to the tracks I missed, so it's a zero. I'll give it a zero. It would have been a one if I finished it probably.
You know, even though we cut it off early, it's okay. It's a one. I can't talk myself into a two. But the skits were hilarious. I could just go back and there's probably like a finito type banger on this floating somewhere. Like one track. I feel like it's not that bad. I might go re-listen to it, but yeah, one for now. One. Yeah, it's not good, but
Next we have Conway the Machine, Slant Faced Killer. Obviously, I kind of gave my view on Griselda, and again, Benny the Butcher, which I believe he has other projects on this list, is probably going to be the one of the former trio that gets my point 0.5. Anything else is zero as of right now. Maybe I'll bump into a record in passing that'll boost that, but as of right now, it's zero. Sorry.
Yeah, I have to go zero as well. Conway, admittedly, of course, he has a lot of talent. He's a pretty damn good rapper, but for some reason, like his personality, the personality that I get that comes across in his music, it's almost like he laughs at his own jokes a little bit too much, and like that is great, can be grating to me. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's not bad, but the whole project, I'm not that interested. So.
zero for me as well. Conway is not hasn't really ever done it for me to be honest. So not compelled.
Next, we have Ghostface Killer, Set the Tone, Guns N' Roses. Now, this is going to sound like some bitch made stuff. Obviously, I don't think you won't find many people that are more of a Wu Tang Clan fan than I or supporter. But this album art really puts me off. It seems like I'm gonna come in and get kind of like a suave more R&B vibe, and maybe if you want to one of y'all consumed it will come here and tell me it's nothing like that. But this doesn't give me a. I'm gonna get a Iron Man, Tony Stark. There's a lot of Raekwon. Nothing about this screams competitiveness. It seems like chilling, and that's why I'm giving it zero.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a zero. I haven't checked for Ghostface in a very long time. Actually, he had some albums.
Yeah, the
He
ones
did
with
well.
Bad Bad Not Good, right?
Exactly. That's the last time I checked with Ghostface. Um,
He also has some really good
but
collabs with Inspector Deck and
right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'm not too interested in the whole project. So, especially if the album
Uh,
looks like this.
yeah, the album art
Listen.
complaint is incredibly valid. Like, I don't know about R&B vibe. I just got like a weird cowboy type vibe for some reason. I don't know, but either way, the album art is in it. I still am going to listen to it because it's Ghostface.
next we have. I really want to call him after that one clip that went viral. Boogie with a hoodie, but a Boogie with a hoodie. Better off alone. Um, I feel like if I should apologize, but I'm not going to. Every time I hear a Boogie feature, it literally ruins the record for me.
Yep,
In so
facts.
much that I have no interest in hearing an entire project from a Boogie. That's every zero.
Yeah, zero, big zero. I like it.
Never had a song that I liked. Zero.
Next we have Rhapsody. Please don't cry. Salute to Rhapsody. They definitely are an incredibly dope artist. This project they definitely got into their. I mean, you could argue all of Rhapsody music has some level of personality to it, but they definitely got in their personal bag. Definitely give some insights into how they've been processing the world, their career, themselves. It definitely an album that gives you a lot to think about, which I think I was working while I'm consuming it, so I'm trying to give it the attention it deserves. Rhapsody is nowhere near anything below a good project. Um, and obviously, Suits and Ice Ones are always coming on and giving their hand in the work. To be honest, is it really? There's nothing bad about the album. I can't recall. I can't. There's nothing bad about it. It's a four. It's honestly a four.
A
Yeah, for me, this album was incredible. Like I I didn't really know what to expect. I have a lot of respect for Rhapsody and what she's done in the past. But I wasn't going into it with the highest expectations, but pretty much like off rip, she starts it off great and just continues that throughout. I didn't come back to this album enough to be able to give it a five, but it most likely would be a five if I did. I'm just gonna have to go with the four for now. But yeah, very good album. Really like this.
is very surprising. I This is one on my list I haven't been able to get to, so it's a point 0.5. But Rhapsody is, for me, she's had good tracks. She's never had like a really great project, but hearing this is extremely surprising, and I'm definitely super interested to listen to it.
Um, Worth it.
Next we have Sexy Red and Sexy with Trust. I don't need to go on here and slander Sexy Red any more than I maybe have in the past. Um, it's zero. I'm not gonna waste my breath.
Yeah, zero. This really doesn't need much explanation.
Yeah, this is a zero. It honestly pisses me off because people act like this album was one of the top hip hop albums of the year, and I've heard enough of it from the singles to know that it's dog shit. And I don't know when people are gassing it. Zero.
I think Sexy Red has one of have had the most motion this year, but
Yeah,
obviously,
like that's different from making a good album. Like,
yeah,
she's definitely super
exactly.
popular, but
Anyhow, next we have Vince Staple, Dark Times, Soup to Vince Staple. Um, for better or for worse, kind of becoming one of those artists that I mentioned before, where the I so appreciative of their personality and some of their content and just even stuff, even sometimes their posts outside of music. So I guess I just have to say, no matter however fail or rate Vince Staples' entire projects, um, he's still good in my books. But yeah, this as far as this product, it's like it's actually a little bit better than mid, but it's not quite a three. It's not quite. It actually is kind of good. Damn, I was gonna come out here to give it an easy two, but it's kind of good. It's good. I'll give it three. Barely.
This is one just forgot to get to. Vince hasn't been putting out much that I like of late, but I still want to give it a chance, so I'm gonna give it a 0.5.
Um, this is a two. It's not quite a one, but I listened to it when it came out, and I listened to it multiple times, giving it a shot. Was never impressed. The best tracks from it were the singles, and overall product again snooze fest. To be honest, I'm not gonna come back to it outside of those couple tracks.
Fair enough. And probably I keep kind of looking down my phone. Some of my notes regarding what I want to give an album or say about albums on my phone. Anyway, next we have Belly, 95 Miles from Bethlehem. Belly's one of artists I think is super dope. They have projects that I really, really super appreciate. I think it's called Another A Day in Paradise, something like that. Anyway, I super like Belly. But I didn't get to listen to this. Point 0.5.
Ellie, I'm gonna go 0. I feel like maybe I liked, or I was okay with one of his projects in the past, but I cannot remember what he sounds like to save my life right now. Not compelled to go back. So.
This is a zero. I don't know if I've ever heard a Belly track. To be honest, I have no clue what he sounds like. I'm not interested.
Well, for those of you that might be interested, there's a track called "It's All Love." That's what I would recommend.
Gotcha.
Um, Next we have No Worries, Why Lord. Um, Man, if you know anything about No Worries, a duo between Anderson Paak and Knowledge. Sorry, I almost forgot for a second. They work tremendously well together, and I was really anticipating this project and really wondering um what the production, not the production, what the output of this album was going to be like. In consuming this album, actually sitting down with it, I don't know if my takeaway was as positive as some previous albums, which again you could argue is not a good way to look at projects, but I definitely, I definitely get, I definitely get it. It just doesn't necessarily give me a spark like the previous Yes Lord gives me. That was the name of the project. There's definitely some introspective things on it. There's a lot of Anderson Pot kind of talking about this is the life I'm living. Is it really even worth it? Should I be doing something different? Whatever the case may be. Will my mom be happy about my situation? All of this. And while I was kind of speaking on that before, I don't know. I just don't think, given what their prior product and songs have sounded like, I don't know if there's a need for this project to sound kind of depressing in some of the areas it does. Not to say that's the encompassing of the entire project, but I just don't know if it needed that tone. And not to say they can't put out a project if that's what they feel like, but I just didn't come to expect that from them on that much scale. So, I'll give it quality. It's not bad, but direction it wasn't really what I would have wanted. I'll give it two.
I'm gonna have to go 0. Never been too into Anderson Park. Uh, yeah, this doesn't really grab me. Some of his rapping has, but I don't like the soulful stuff. So
Hmm.
here,
Uh, this might be a similar thing to the J. Cole where the expectations factor in, but this might be a one to be honest, which is crazy. But I was really annoyed by this project listening to it because production was very boring. Very knowledge standards, this production was trash. Like it was really not good at all. Not compelling whatsoever. Hot singing, rapping, whatever. His performance is kind of like blase. Talked about the same shit over and over. I don't care about your baby mother situation, bro. Like I it had one good song on it out of like what 19. Like this product, it really annoyed me, especially because I know what they can do and felt like this is phoned in. So this isn't like as bad a one as other products, but it's a one. I'm kind of pissed off that they even put this out, to be honest.
No, it was high anticipated. It was going to come out, but the output was not it. So next we have Ski Mask, the Slump Guy, 11th Dimension. So, again, one of those projects, y'all listen to it just to see what it sounds like. Um, so one had an awful intro, IMO. Some of the flows that they put on this album for some reason, like there's this one record that has kind of a Jamaican flow. That might be the best background, but I didn't want to hear that. Um, but throughout my criticism, I do see the general appeal. I forget the name of the record, but there's this one record where it's super uber catchy. I think it was towards like the end of the album. I definitely get the appeal of Ski Mask. Um, I'll give it a two. It's not trash, but I don't perceive me going to be ever super interested in a Ski Mask album again.
All right, for me, I actually like this one. I like this one. To me, like I feel like this is what I would expect Lil Uzi Vert to sound like based on all of the acclaim he gets. Because Ski Mask he's entertaining when he raps to me, and he like when you there's certain artists where like the more you listen to them or the deeper you listen to them, like the less appealing they become. But for him, it's the opposite, where it's like I got more out when I paid more attention to his his lyrics. Like he's just super entertaining. Nothing too deep, but he has like the braggadocio and the I don't know, just the sense of humor that I look for. Um his beats are good. They're very they're very energetic, like I don't know. And this is a long project, and for me to have paid attention, been able to keep my attention for um throughout was it says a lot. So I I'm gonna give it a three. But yeah, it's a high three for me. I really respect it.
Um, yeah. I'm gonna give this one a two. I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. Um, I haven't really been too into Ski Mask, but this has prompted me to. I'm gonna go back and give some of his older projects a listen. Like the energy was there, production was pretty good. Um, a lot of it, like just the style, wasn't necessarily for me, but respectable project. Yeah, could have been a lot worse. So give it two.
Next, we have Young Moneybag Yo. Speak Now. Moneybag is definitely one of those artists where he definitely gives his audience and his core fan base exactly what they want. I even through listening it through my ears, I could definitely imagine if you were super a supporter of Moneybag Yo, you love the fact that he comes on and gives you that very repetitious southern sound and speaking about how he can't trust anybody and ever since he's kind of bossed up and glowed up, he definitely can't trust anybody, and everybody around him wants to snake him. And still the money back, yo, but this is a one. And listening to it like front to back, really, or as much as I did, really just it's just not pleasant to listen to. This is frank, to pretty frank.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big zero for me. Southern rap that I just don't type that I don't like.
I'm really debating giving this a negative one, to be honest, because this product was
Really,
offensively bad. I'll give it a one, but it was really awful, especially because Moneybags had some decent products in the past. This was just, I feel like a worse person for listening to it.
jeez, don't use that negative one just yet. Next, we have Suicide Boys' New World Expression, another album where you gotta listen to it just to see what it sounds like, and so you can have a vetted opinion. Um, but yeah, it's one of those projects where after you consume, it, you're like, okay, I heard it and it didn't move me one way or the other. Or rather, I mean, we obviously have to listen to everything just for the sake of it, but rather have spent that time listening to something else. One,
Um, Again, like this is another album that surprised me, like the Ski Mask. I really, really like this one. Their sound like the the name of the album pretty much describes what it sounds like. Like it, their lyrical content and just the beats they choose are super, like I don't know, draining and depressing. But I don't know, it's in a way like where I can still sink into it and like comfortably sink into the sound. They just hit a very, very specific pocket that works for what they're trying to do. So I really like this one. I didn't come back to it as much as I wanted to over the year. But I'll give it a three. Like it was quite good to me.
Similarly, this is another one that I haven't really listened to their projects before, like the Ski Mask, and I was kind of surprised. Like, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. It was decent. There was a couple tracks I did really enjoy. I think Burgundy is the main one that I liked, but this is a two. Um, First time I listened to one of their projects went to back, and yeah, it was decent enough.
fair enough. Next, we have James Blake and Lil Yachty, Bad Cameo. Man, whenever you make a project, you have to, even your name, you have to be mindful of what you name it and that it can be memed on. Um, Although I say that, but I have listened to it. I have zero. Let me be clear: zero desire to listen to anything Yachty puts out sonically. I'd rather watch a podcast by Yachty or an interview than rather than listen to him in any musical capacity. And it's kind of very confusing to me why an artist, producer, just sonic mind like James Blake could get involved with this. It's kind of like into like infusion to back in the day where Classic Casino used to work with artists that are just like
A very
dog
apt comparison.
dog shit. So yeah, salute to Artie. He's definitely been at the center of some of our podcast topics this year. But as far as the projects, it's zero. And if I did
Yeah.
listen to it, I probably would have been giving it my negative one. So if that's any saving grace.
Yeah, I'm going zero for the same exact reasons. Shocking that James Blake would work with him. Too good for him. Zero.
This is definitely a point five, just because James Blake is one of my favorite artists of all time. But I haven't listened to it yet, just because I get so angry seeing Yachty's name in this title that I have to get in the right mind space to listen to it. It's probably gonna be trash, but maybe there's some instrumental tracks where Yachty's just like on the outro or something, and James Blake redeems it. Disappointing.
Next, Lupe Fiasco Samurai. Now that's interesting. Going from the opposite end of the spectrum to the other end. Yeah, Lupe, as y'all know, is one of my, if not my favorite rapper, dead or alive. And y'all know I'm not just biased when I give up this rating because like I said, Kid Cudi is also one of my favorite artists. But if they drop mid, they drop mid. But Lupe did nothing of the sort. In so much, I actually have to give someone an apology, not because of the music or because of anything really super relevant, but it's just so funny and ironic that earlier this year I was coming on here, and to be honest, my opinion doesn't change at all. Let me be 100% clear. I was coming out here and it's talking about legends who are obviously legend in their own right, but I never felt moved by. In this case, talking about Amy Winehouse. Come to find out, this album was literally inspired by by the now deceased legend. Um, but that's just the joke aside. Obviously, this album is filled with so many like dope records of Lupe, just given the bars that we come to expect Lupe. He's older now, but he's still got that same level of skill. And Yeah, it's not. This isn't necessarily. Sorry, this doesn't have anything to do with the project in itself. But Tuts Lupe is one of the few artists that he's kind of when he puts out music, he gives that full, well-rounded like I guess you could say '90s, 2000s, even early 2010s of like they put out their project, they do interviews, they stop by X platform and do like a freestyle. Like he still did I don't want to say traditional, but I guess you could call it a traditional rapper rollout. And I think it lets audience knows like what he's fully about, what he's where his mindset is, what his mindset behind the current album is, and that's how I was able to kind of find out more about that. Um, what inspired it, as well as some of the themes throughout the albums. Anyway, it might seem like I'm biased, but this is. I'm surprised I'm the first one giving it out, but this is an album that I can comfortably give a 5. It's an album of the year product.
Nice. Nice. For me, I don't know. Feel like I almost feel like something's wrong with me because I just listening to this project, I was bored the whole time. I mean, I certainly wasn't paying enough attention. I wasn't compelled to even. The beats didn't grab me enough. The Lupe's rapping didn't grab me enough. I just wasn't compelled to really try even to enjoy this project. It's just kind of middle of the road, very by the numbers to me for him. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to go two. I could even almost give it a one, but I'll go two because I mean Lupe does have the skill. It's just it didn't grab me at all. Also, the the title of the album and the album art, like it would make me I mean it set expectations for me probably unfairly for something that I didn't get. Like I didn't get the sound that I would associate with the art in the title of Samurai. Like say a Ka was able to do on his joint. What was the album goes?
Honor killed the samurai.
Honor. Yes, 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 yes.
Well,
Just
as I just mentioned, not to cut you off, it's not about feudal Japan. It's again, if
oh
Amy Winehouse was a samurai.
oh okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So I've certainly missed some stuff, but
I I think it was if Amy Winehouse was a battle rapper. It
Oh yeah,
was
yeah,
something weird,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I think
My
that's what
apologies. If Amy was, yeah, that's even more
gotcha,
accurate. Yeah.
gotcha. But yeah,
So was this a you said a one or a two ace?
I'll go two. I'll go two. I'll go two.
I would add just low key debate you if you said one, but here to there.
Yeah, come me some of the other projects give it a one. Come on now. For me, this is a good project. I think Lupe is still Lupe. Like his bars are still top tier. Production was mediocre, and his hooks. A lot of times, I think my enjoyment of Lupe's projects hinge on the hooks because he's so consistent. Like with regular verses, that the hooks will kind of like either be like okay, it's whatever. Or it'll really compel me or draw me in. So because of those two elements being kind of mid, I'm gonna give this a three. Uh, Not a bad product by any means. I think it could have been a little better, but I'm not super mad at the five just because I can see why you would give it to him, but this one didn't do it as much as his previous stuff has.
Next we have Megan Thee Stallion, with Megan. Interesting that she's how many albums in, and this album's called Megan. Salute to Megan. I was thinking about it as you guys are talking. Megan's in kind of a peculiar place because when they are talking kind of freely about what they probably would normally talk about, it's very. I don't want to make this a female oriented thing or sex oriented thing. It is more you know, f- female oriented thing. Like I'm the artist B, and I could take any N I could want. But but also if they get into more like introspective songs, it's kind of more I ever since I've been in the industry, I've been getting shit on, and nobody's had my back, and I have to go through this issue, and I've also had a lot of uh you know more mortality issues in my family. Megan's went through a lot. That's I say all that to say. But at the heart of it, I'm never going to completely dismiss Megan because or Meg, whatever the case may be, because like they had such a phenomenal double XL freshman free cipher and just good showcasing when they first came out. Like so much talent in a lot of the bars that they put out. Um, so I'll give it a point five. I will listen to it.
Yeah, I'll give it a point five as well. I don't think I've ever heard a bad Megan track. Um, she's got so much energy. It's very entertaining to listen to her. So yeah, I'll give it a point.
This is a point five for me as well. She's good. A lot of her stuff doesn't draw me in, but I'm never gonna just completely um count out the fact that she could put out a project that I enjoy. So I'll check it out.
Next up, Eminem. Death of Some Shady. Coop. How do you say that? Coop de Grace.
Coup de
Something like that.
grace.
Coup de Grace. Man, I've come out here and slandered Eminem so much. You know what's crazy? I thought I listened to this, but I actually did listen to this. Not. I don't think it was out of my own volition. I think it was just on in passing. I think if you've heard Eminem once, you've heard him a million times at this point. It's so nothing new. Not that it should be anything new, because if you love Eminem, like hearing more of it is good. Um, uh, Eminem's not trash by any means. He's obviously a great rapper, but we don't want to listen to Eminem around here. Not even a bit. Um, it's two. It's super two. It's the twoiest.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a zero. It was cool. It was a novelty to hear the Slim Shady type rapping again, but outside of the novelty, like I'm not really gonna go back and give this a serious listen. So I'm gonna give it a zero.
Not to be a
Uh,
stickler, but did you listen to it or not?
Oh, I mean, I just listened to that one track. The
Oh, okay.
yeah, that one single.
Gotta make that known.
like this is a hard zero. I've never been a huge Eminem fan. I respect his earlier stuff, but wasn't any diehard at any point. And I've heard not just that his lead single, but I heard a clip from another song track on this album, and it sounded so awful, like to the point of parody, that I'm never ever gonna listen to the song or anything that Eminem puts out ever again, because it just was offensively bad. So easy zero.
Next we have Denzel Curry, King of the Mischievous. Oh, Mischievous South. Too. Denzel Curry got a lot of talent in the brother. I just have little to no interest, and I won't even try to feign it. It's zero.
0.5. I still don't know if I've actually listened to a full Denzel Curry uh, I don't know if I have, um but yeah, he's had some great features and I think he's worth checking out for me, so I'll give it to one.
So y'all know generally I'm a Denzel Curry, not a hater but disliker. I think he's overhyped. Even some of his like acclaimed projects like the Melt My Eyes from a couple years ago, like I don't really see the hype behind it. But this project might be my most surprising of the year. I love this album, and it's really, I think it's because it's kind of low concept. Like Denzel Curry is not trying to do like the conscious rap. It's just a southern album paying respect to the South, and it had a ton of southern rapper features, and they were all like super great. The beats were amazing, production's amazing. This is close to a five. This is a four, but I love this album, and I was not expecting that, but it was just super great, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm actually gonna check out his older stuff, like his older mixtapes, hopefully with that same this same type of sound, where it's just like raw southern rap. Because I didn't expect this, but it was fantastic.
Sorry. Next we have JT, City Cinderella. I was actually looking forward to listening to this and to give a super a TLDR of some of the background. Um, when City Girls was kind of getting quiet and or started to separate, people noticed that Young Miami was kind of more big into her show and everything that they got going on, and JT was focusing on still doing shows and music and that. So people were definitely starting to see the development of one person not so much being invested in music, another person heavily being invested in music, in so much of like going back and doing like shows of of that you wouldn't expect them to do, like damn near small clubs and stuff. Anyway,
Mm.
I say all that to say, just to give some background, and it doesn't necessarily influence my rating. I say all that to say, um, yeah, I'm glad he gave us a chance. So I didn't say high expectations. I just wanted to see what it would sound like. Um, JT has a lot of, I don't know if skills the right word. They it's I can hear the investment that they have in their music. Um, it doesn't necessarily break any barriers, and I don't the sucky part. I don't know what I could like impart into what they could do better. I guess obviously work with some really amazing producers if they can. That's the one thing that could probably save it. It's two. It's mid.
I'm gonna go one with this one. I didn't like anything about it. AT's voice, her rapping, the production, nothing. Like, just bad to me. Zero. I mean, two. I mean, one. Jesus.
Um, yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. Wasn't Didn't grab me at any point. I was thinking about giving it a two, but it's, to be honest, really a one. Not like trash tier, but I did not enjoy it.
Fair enough. So, next we have Rich the Kid, Life's a Gamble. I would say salute to Rich the Kid, but for the most like, I kind of want to say if you know, you know, because it's so if you know, you know. But as far as music, it don't. I don't. The interest ain't there. I'd have to, if I saw the features and if it's some of the features if they had like Polo G and maybe the Migos. Not no, obviously the Migos probably wouldn't be collaborating on one record. Features could probably save this, but as of right now, I'm giving it zero.
I'm gonna go zero as well. I do not know this guy off the top of my head, but he has a name that's familiar enough where if I did like anything from him, I would zero.
Perfectly put. Zero for me too.
What was perfectly put?
Huh?
But never mind. Next we have JPEG Mafia. I laid down. Oh, sorry, I'm tweaking. Next we have Ice Spice Y2K! Exclamation mark. Ice Spice. Ice Spice is getting a lot of criticism in this day and age because of their aesthetics, and the fact that they haven't evolved outside of their I'm a baddie, he's a munch sound. Um, I always kind of like Ice Spice, just the simplicity of her, and the fact she don't talk a lot outside of interviews. I like that. You don't even know what she thinks about anything. But as far as music, I don't think like nothing about this is gonna move me. So it's zero.
Yeah, zero for me. I don't know what to say. Like, she was entertaining for a second, like second, but like you said, it never changed. Like, just the same thing from her. So I don't think there's any interest there anymore.
Uh, Zero. I don't have a huge issue with her, but yeah, no interest.
Next we have JPEG Mafia. I laid down my life for you. Um, I really don't remember when I super got familiar with JPEG Mafia. And I still to this day don't know what my full synopsis of what I would say about them in totality. They make odd music. I wish I could say no pun intended. But I don't think they have any level of relation to Odd Future. They make odd music, interesting music, unique music. They collab well with the people that they collab with. Um, this project is more of that super. I don't know. Erratic sounds isn't. I don't know if it's a proper way to say about it, but sometimes when I'm listening to JP Mafia, it just music. It just sounds like there's sounds being thrown at you, in a sense, and it's not necessarily bad, but it is not necessarily comforting, and sometimes stuff I would necessarily wouldn't want to go back to. But it's definitely unique enough to where I would never say it's bad. Um, I I'll give it a. It's a low three, but it's not bad. Maybe a little more direction could be added to it, but who am I to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 3 as well. And just like you were saying, I think for me, production production is the main draw. Like I love the way he just rolls together these like just like you said, erratic, like frenetic sounds. The beats will just have you like on edge the whole time, but in the way that I love, like I love stuff like that where it's just like, what are you doing? This is crazy, but also it works. And yeah, his rapping is it's not the the most mind blowing greatest ever, but it it's passable. Like it works enough to where the his music as a whole just comes together. And I think his previous project with Danny Brown really showed me or really opened me up to the sound as a whole. Before that, I didn't really get it, but now now I'm on board.
This he's probably my most hit or miss artist of all time. He has some projects, some songs where production is super great, and I kind of get it. This was not one of them. Like when I hear people putting this at the top of the album year, I feel like people are just forcing themselves to like this because sonically, like to me, it sounded like shit. This is a one. I really dislike this project. Like it's not enough to put me off of him permanently. I'll still check for his new stuff, but like it just if just objectively just play one of his tracks and like it's hard to listen to, bro. Music should not be hard to listen to at its core. So yeah, I feel like people are trying too hard to like it when it doesn't deserve that much effort.
It's not trying, Ghost.
Oh, I'm not even talking about y'all specifically. I'm just because people saying, "Oh, best album of the year." Just like there's a lot of artists people do that with, like Billy Woods being one, but like some
See, no,
stuff
you're
like
now you're just talking like you gotta move on.
I'm not bugging, bro. Like if you just put this on in a room and I would know 100 people, 95 people would be like, "What the hell is this crap?" Like
It's definitely not for everybody.
at its core, I don't think this album is just any good musically. Sorry.
Next, we have Killer Mike, Songs for Sinners and Saints. This is probably my number one album that I'm like kicking myself for not getting a chance to get to. Salute to Killer Mike, one of the artists I respect the most. Definitely a point five. I'm definitely gonna listen to this ASAP.
Yep, same for me. I don't know how I didn't get to this one. To be honest, I thought it came out. No, I don't think I thought it came out last year, but either way. So,
I was surprised because I didn't know this one came out either. This is borderline zero for me because I think it's like a gospel choir collab type project. Killer Mike still
mm,
gets a point 0.5, but I don't think I'm gonna like it.
Next, we have again Kanye West and Ty Dolla Sign, Vultures 2. Um, Probably a lot of what I said before about a Kanye album in this day and age is probably really true about this as well. Um, Kanye's great. He's not making great music. It's one.
Yikes.
yeah, zero, big zero.
Zero.
Next we have Lotto, Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I like the naming convention. I really, really, unfortunately, I mean, it's just a culture right now, so I don't really feel too bad about it. It's the culture of the music that some of the female artists are putting out. It's female centric. It's not in any way bad. Well, in a lot of ways, not bad. In a lot of ways, they do have talent. In a lot of ways, they're doing exactly what they should be doing. But for me, I'm never going. It's never going to compel me to have a vested interest in it, unless it's like hitting. Um, I always forget who's my number one artist example of that. I mean, even going back like Little Kim has some like wild lines and verses, but that hits. But anyway, it's zero.
I'll give it a point five because I don't think I've given Lotto's out music a proper listen yet, but she does seem like she can at least rap. And she was a freshman, right? I think she was a freshman that did well, so performed well. So point five.
Uh, yeah, it's a zero. I've heard enough of her where it's not bad, but I'm not compelled to check her out more.
Next you have Lil Mosey, Love You Forever, zero. My bad.
Goodness, yeah, same zero, zero, zero.
Zero. I hate this dude.
Next we have Logic, Ultra 85. Oof. We've had some topics about Logic. It has nothing to do with this project. We had some topics about Logic. We kind of understand the Logic's general mindset of this day and age. And this was the album before he went on to say, "Hey, I'm about to make some Playboy Cardi esque music." Um, Logic, for whatever reason, has kind of positioned himself into that Eminem category of incredibly skilled. Um, but for some reason, I guess like you said, kind of became a novelty of himself. And a lot of that maybe has to do with the volume and is also his demeanor as it pertains to music. I still will. I will still listen to Logic. If nothing else, but to give him an additional spin, I'll give it 0.5.
Uh, I'll go point five just because I think I had him as one of my albums of the year
Can't
a
believe
couple years
that,
ago.
bro. I still can't believe that blasphemy.
But
That
yeah,
album was garbage.
he admittedly can be hit or miss.
Oh yeah, zero. No interest at all. Sorry, Logic.
Next we have Polo G Hood Poet. I don't care if anyone says. Maybe it's just the Chicago in Polo G and in me. um, Polo G can put out some really enjoyable verses, in my opinion. Um, but they also at the same time do fall in the category of if you have to listen to an entire project by them, maybe that's not the move. He definitely an artist that would benefit from less music than more music. In so much, I would give this a one.
Jesus. Yeah, zero, big zero.
I can't even remember if I listened to this. I mean it's zero. If I can't remember. No
Next
interest
we
at all.
next we have No Cap Before I Disappear Again. Again, I'm gonna turn this one to y'all first because I believe I heard it, but
I got no clue
Wow.
who this dude is, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this is when we skipped. Like we listened to some of it and we skipped because I have it as a zero, but I do have it rated.
Uh
I mean, I do have a comment.
oh wait, hold up. I gotta look at the stats real quick to this might have been a skip.
Yeah, I do not think we liked it at all, basically.
Okay, yep. This is a one. I remember. We got like three, four tracks and no
Yeah,
interest at all. It was pretty bad.
yeah. I'll call it a zero for myself, but yeah.
okay, zero. YG, just read up three, um, zero. YG sticks to that West Coast sound. And he doesn't divert even a, he doesn't bud even a little bit. And
Yep.
not that, and I have no beef. And I have no beef with the West Coast, but if it is,
100% because of the West Coast
if
sound.
I'm listening to a West Coast centric album, I need to hear like something a bit more. Um, Listen, I've been listening to NWA for a while. I don't need to listen to this. Not at all. Next we have Ka, Thief Next to Jesus. Salute to Ka, rest in power. Truly one of the dopest artists to breathe and that has ever existed. Um, man, I kind of had some things that kind of wanted to get off my heart, get off my chest about this project. Um, but and then for this, brevity of time and all that jazz, I will just say, um, and it's kind of depressing, so disclaimer. When I'm listening to this album, this one is still 100% delivers and what I would come to expect about Ka, and just the dopeness in his verses, and to be honest, the depth in it too. Listening to this project, I get this semblance of somebody that knew or had in some level of impression they may not exist for too much longer. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm tweaking, but it just seems to be a lot of, and if I were to pass, or if I'm no longer here, and not to say that anyway detracting the music. It kind of almost brings a tear to my eye, even kind of thinking about just the fact, like, that's what happened when you listen to music that's not necessarily posthumous, posthumous, whatever. But it really, I don't know. Like I'm feeling feelings of, like, overall somberness instead of just focusing on the music. But the music in itself is relatively dope. It's just an unfortunate situation. Um, it's a three for me.
Yeah, Ka. In terms of like his previous work, this one this one doesn't stand out as like one of my best or one of the best in my opinion. But because Ka is as good or was as good as he was, like I don't think he can or I don't think there's a way I could give him below a four just because like if you pay attention to anything he says for just a second, like it's mind blowing how he was able to put his verses together and like everything he said was freaking amazing. Like the dude was the dude was on another level. So it's a four, like just based off of that alone. Like anything he put out was going to be a four or better. So yeah.
Yeah, this album, I've been a huge Ka fan for a minute. Day it dropped on his website, bought the wave files, listened to it a ton of times when it came to streaming. Even before he passed, this was one of, if not my favorite, between this and Descendants of Cain of all of his projects. Like, I absolutely loved it. And this is, I didn't super love his last double album, but like the themes of religion and Christianity and his own faith and how he tied it in, the samples, production, like everything about this album was just top tier, and it did kind of get elevated with his unfortunate passing because just going back and listening to some of that lyrics, like you said, Quest, you kind of get the feeling that he knew he wasn't long for the earth. Like borrowed time, just going back and listening to that song, like I hope it's borrowed time when my time comes, because my time wasn't constant. Like you can just like it's just you listen to that and it's like damn. But I cannot recommend this album enough. Again, tied for my favorite car album of all time. Easy five. Tremendous, tremendous project. I will be listening to this for years to come.
Well said. Next we have Big Sean, Bigger Than You. Maybe more light-hearted news. Man,
Better me than you.
oh, better. What did I say? Better me than you. Big Sean gets a lot of slander, not just by you guys, but by, like, the culture, and it really makes me wonder. So I start to realize. So I guess it's just a matter of people don't like B tier or like lower second tier rappers, because or even third tier. Like unless you're on Kendrick level, like people just will find ways to make fun of you. Which I don't honestly like. I think tiers should exist for a reason. Like when you're thinking of like back in the day with Naruto, you have the S class stuff, you have the A class stuff, you have the B class stuff, and then you have the D class and C class stuff. You still respect B class. It's just not S class. But I say all that to say, Big Sean is not awful, by no means of the imagination. But he's obviously not anything that's going to stand out in this day and age. His prime has passed, and I think as far as creating interest, it's probably, probably not going to really shake the room in any viable way. So at least two, it's not bad. It's just mid.
It is bad. I'm giving this a 1. I actually forgot.
I like that.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't have much to say. Big Sean is garbage to me, but maybe what you were what you with what you were just saying. It's not only that he's B tier, but he raps like he thinks he's S tier, and it's like no, you're not. You're
Get
not
your. He needs to go for. We does not deserve
right.
that.
Yes, he does not belong in the conversation. Yeah, not good. Not good.
Well, I mean, as a rapper, you still gotta rap as if you are the best.
It's
This
22
was.
for him.
I was expecting something trash and awful. It wasn't that. It definitely wasn't good. This is a 2. Again, it kind of was a little better than I expected. It wasn't torture to listen to. I'm never going to listen to it again, but
Now that's fair. That's no, I can stand on that. And say you're being fair. Next we have Destroy Lonely, Love Lasts Forever. I've been hearing some rumblings about this, brother? Question mark. I have interest
yeah,
in it.
that's some craziness.
Oh, ugh.
Oh,
Well,
I thought you meant in. Oh, yeah. I've heard
well,
rumblings in a negative way,
well, I'm not
but
gonna.
I don't know
I'm
something.
not gonna be influenced as long as it's no like. I don't. We have no tolerances like SA shit, but um, I'll give it a point 0.5.
Yeah, 0.5 since I don't know his name at all.
Well, hold
I've
on. No,
listened.
no, no. You've said some brothers that you don't know their name at all. You gave them a 0. So is it one Michael with you, Wally?
No, it's a 0.5. Have I said that?
You literally said I don't know if
I
I
feel
get.
like in. Go ahead.
You literally said I don't know this guy's name and go and based off the name is 0 or something like that.
Maybe I have said that in previous years, but I think it's changed since the
I think
kid
you said
song.
it today.
Nah, I
Oh
don't
my
think so.
god.
I mean, I
What?
think like Rich the
I
Kid.
I
Yeah,
Rich
exactly.
the Kid.
What did you say about Rich Kid?
No, Rich the Kid. I said I can't remember anything from him off the top of my head, but I know his name. So if if I liked something from him, I would
nah
remember that.
nah. You
No.
That's what I
said based on the name,
said.
you didn't
I,
think that you. We can. I'm pretty sure you said
No,
based on the
no,
name.
I
You
didn't
I'm
wanted
say
to
that.
like.
Not about
I'm
Rich the
glad.
Kid. Maybe somebody
I'm
else.
glad Ghost
I
backed
don't.
me up because the Rich Kid came with some. I'm be honest. I think he.
We
That's
can
not what I mean,
we can
it's
check the tape
recorded
because
now.
I
It's
might have.
recorded.
Yeah, I know. We'll check it. We'll check it
Yeah, it's
after.
recorded, and two people
I don't think I said that.
have an idea of what you just what you
All
said
right,
about
we
it,
gotta
but
we gotta keep pushing. We gotta keep pushing. This is a point
I mean, I
five for
got this
me
shit up.
too. I know a little about Destroy Lonely because my younger brother listens to him and gas him up, and I don't think this project's gonna be good, but I'm still gonna listen to it and check it out.
next we have LL Cool J, The Force.
No.
Oh, my bad.
Don't skip Dochi now.
All right, let's all calm down. No need for the tonality. Next we have Dochi, Alligator Bites Never Heal. Dochi has had a tremendous year in hip hop. Um, they deserve all the credit that they have been given and all the props and praise. They are definitely somebody that sounds like they are doing everything to win their spot. And this project is definitely reflective of that. Definitely an album I would encourage anybody that hasn't heard it yet to go listen to. Um, to get a really raw taste of what Dochi outputs. This project is not
That's
in
a
any.
crazy sentence. Crazy sentence. Sorry.
Should I recant it?
Continue.
Anyway, yeah, it's a dope project. It's a four. I guess I'll just be completely sterile in my wording.
No, come on. It was.
Um,
Sorry. Go.
I listened to this album one time and it was very, very good. I would have to give it more listens to give it a four, but definitely a very a solid listen. So I'm gonna go three for now.
Listening to this album for the first time reminded me of how I felt listening to JID on the Never Story. Like, just kind of, he was a little on my radar, wasn't really checking for him, and then I heard this project and blew me away. Yeah, I listened to this album like 5 times. It's unbelievably good. Energy, lyricism, it's funny as hell with the skits. Um, Low key, I think that she and Todd got some problems need to work out. But that aside, fantastic album. Five easily. I'm gonna be listening to this over and over. So many standout tracks. The Tiny Desk, Tiny Room, whatever she did for this album was great. Performances are great. Tremendous.
One day we're gonna talk about how Top Dog might, history hasn't completed itself yet. It's gonna be like one of those general managers or owners of a like team that they like had huge success, like the Cowboys back in the day, but
Jerry, oh my God, that's a really good equivalency.
but then went on to not really know how to run a functioning team.
That's hilarious.
But that's
Wow.
a story for another time. Next, we have LL Cool J, The Force. I was super interested to know what LL is sounding like and delivering, what they're delivering in 2024. Um, I think it's something that OGs will appreciate, but people that are younger can bump it to some degree. I don't know if it's gonna be their favorite thing. Um, it's not bad by any means. I think artists like LL should be moving towards like what your last project was gonna sound like, and if this was his last project, I wouldn't want it to be this. Um, I'll give it a two. It's three actually. It's three. It's three. It's three. It's not bad, but don't do
Yeah.
it again. But don't do it again.
Damn.
That's mad funny. Yeah, I was teetering between a two and a three as well. I'll go three as well. It was a solid listen. He did his thing, like he was rapping. It was I don't feel like I wasted my time. Like it was good. It was good.
I'm gonna have to complete the trilogy. Give it a three. Decent project. Uh, the number one beef I got with these artists and these type of projects making like the kind of throwback albums isn't conceptually. It's more so like a lot of times, and this is a huge issue on another album we'll get to on this list, where they'll have features from other old OG artists, and it sounds like they're recorded in a bathroom, and like the mixing production is just really subpar where you don't see that on established artists because again they be getting studio time where it sounds like hey just do something on your phone for 30 seconds and it's kind of disappointing but yeah overall decent project.
Next we have I forgot to say this brother's name. Toro Emo with
I don't know how
uh,
this made the list.
with Earth. It's definitely hip hop adjacent. There was a point in time where I would give this brother point fives all day and night, but I know I came to listen to something that this is like okay, I heard it and nothing. It's not moving me, so I'm giving it zero.
Yeah, I have a ton of respect for this dude, especially for project he released a couple years ago that was like um in the kind of like indie country vein. Really love that one. I have to get the name, but yeah, overall, like he does uh not neo soul. I forgot the name of the genre. Kind of like a 70s funk type sound. Like I think that's what he was known for at first. And but he's done a lot of other stuff as well. And most of the other stuff, like most of that stuff that he's done, I have not liked. Um, so I don't think I highly doubt I would get anything off of this one, especially from the what I've heard of it as well as how I've heard him just talk about it in the feature. I mean the artist that he's worked with. So I'm gonna give this one a 0.
Uh, yeah, this is I don't know. I'll give it a point 0.5 because I know very little about this dude, but I do know the side project he has, Lessons, and I really like the production on those. It was like house dance type projects. I have no clue what to
Right.
expect from this, but I'll check it out. I guess worth a
Next,
Yeah.
shot.
next we have Future mixtape Pluto. I already kind of gave my whole thing on Future. Super like just awful in like the vast majority of cases. But it's also crazy in the same vein. Over the years, ever since Future came out, there's like at this point I think like a handful, like literally five plus or minus songs and or verses that I really enjoy by Future. In so much where it's like I think he probably could be a really good artist if we cut out like 98% of the music that he's ever put out. But obviously, you could probably say that about a lot of artists. Anyway, listen to this. It's a one. It's awful.
It's again Future 0.
Yeah, this is the one. This project fucking sucked. This is garbage.
Next, we have Lil Tecca playing A. Zero. And that name is not good because I always get it confused with there's like another person named Tecca or something. Lil Tech. I don't know. Not a good name.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 0 for the same reason I gave Rich the Kid a 0.
Yeah, we know.
This is a zero. This is complete unrelated, but do y'all think that this dude looks like me
No.
IRL?
Well, not that.
Because I've Z said that we look very similar, and I found that hilarious and not accurate. I'm
Oh,
curious if
oh no, I do kind of see it, but it's like it's a stretch.
oh my goodness,
Man,
I don't see it at
it's a
all.
literal case of all y'all look alike.
But
It's, this is yeah, it's a stretch.
all right, MC Light, 1 of 1.
And to like one of
Who is
one.
this dude? Is that looks like a child?
Dude?
It's her.
Oh, what?
You better give it. You
Love.
better. You better off rip. Just give this a 0.5 just because of that. MC
Yeah,
five.
yeah.
What's wrong with
MC.
this dude?
MC Light is a whole legend.
Damn. I never heard of Rebellion.
The
What?
whole.
What?
I
Yeah.
must have been living under a rock or something. I
Jesus.
never heard of
Yeah.
her in my
That speaks
life.
volumes on you. Although to be fair, I didn't get a chance to give us a listen. After that, LA, cool J shit. I feel if I reach my quota of listening to OGs. But MC Light's obviously a whole icon, a whole legend. So they definitely deserve 0.5. I'll definitely get to it. See what they sound like in this day and age.
Yeah, I'll go 0.5 as well, just because I'm curious. Like, I'm curious what she sounds like now.
Yeah, I have to do the 0.5 because of the unintentional disrespect.
That was crazy. Next, we have Leon Thomas. Not the third, but they are a third. With Mutt. Um, Man, there's so many things I could say right now. But again, time, brevity, all that jazz. Um, this project is super phenomenal. This brother can make music. Honestly, the only reason why it's not touching that five is because, and this is a completely my thing. This is completely a personal thing. Don't let this influence anybody else. I have like general perception of this brother of like not necessarily the innocence of like what Nickelodeon would impart onto you, but just like not necessarily because I don't know a lot about them, and because of even outside Nickelodeon, I perceive them to be relatively like it's not even clean cut, but like they're not they're not in a bunch of mess. They're not in a bunch of like messy modern day women are trifling and guys are no good type of things. Like he's I would have rather him just be kind of relatively generic if that makes if y'all kind of pick up what I'm putting down. So some of the subject matter, even kind of like throwing the B word. I know I sound like a B and saying some of this word, saying some of these things. Um, it just it kind of off. It just kind of throws me off a bit. But outside of my personal, not disdain. Sometimes when I hear certain things, I get kind of cringy. I cringe. That's probably the best way to put it. Outside of that, it's definitely a four. It's such a great project. This brother, um, I guess you could say he's a triple threat, but I think the triple means you can also dance. I don't know if he can dance, but he's really good on it.
Yeah, he was not victorious. He can dance.
Oh, that's what he was on.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand your reasoning, Quest. I don't
I don't
fully
know.
subscribe to it, but I definitely get where you're coming from.
Yeah, he can he's probably one of the best artists on this list, to be honest, as a whole package.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, for me, it's surprising when there's like a artist that leans more into the R&B vibes, and I actually am able to appreciate them. And like even going back to my score right now, I was kind of shocked, but yeah, I'm gonna give this a three. He's solid. He's solid, and if you like R&B type stuff, you will definitely like him. He's very good.
Yeah, this project was fantastic. Like production on it, like I really like his vocals. A lot of the mixing is kind of muddy, but it really works. And this is close to a five, to be honest.
It really is.
I'm a I'm so torn right now. Like this is a 4.5.
Round up.
I'm gonna give it a five because I've revisited this project a lot. I listened to it a lot. It just gets better on every listen. I think it would eventually end up being a five. Like it's so good. It's so good. Fantastic project. Really impressed.
Yeah, he deserves. I think he's gonna get a lot of acclaim from this project. He deserves it. Next we have T Grizzly Post Dramatic, and I will take a quick pause. I'll say it again afterwards, but next I will take a quick pause. Um, Obviously, like I mentioned before, we are on a bit of a time constraint, but and I always kind of forget just how long it takes us to get through these things, which is crazy because you think like between all like the ones and zeros, you think oh, some of these are gonna be okay. Let's just give it all zeros and keep pushing. But I guess it just when you go through an entire list, it really does pile
Yeah.
up. So I was thinking about it while going through it, and I think since we still want to make sure we do get to everything, we'll come back to it later. I don't want to rush this and or rush you guys. I got other stuff to do, IRL stuff. And I gotta be super appreciative because you guys, uh, were able to delay this podcast when we had originally scheduled to do it the other day because of me. So I want to be conscious of everyone's time and just making sure we still just can go through it and not feel compelled to rush or take away from the quality of what we typically do. So you say like another 20-30 minutes, Ghost, or you want to even cut it
Yeah,
shorter
I'll
than that?
probably have to jump off at one, but I'm fine with picking it up later.
Yeah,
Finish it
absolutely.
off.
And if you want to cut it sooner so you don't have to be rushing out your house, just feel free. Um, but yeah, just a quick heads
Disclaimer.
up. Yeah, disclaimer. Anyway, back to the show. T Grizzly, post traumatic. T Grizzly, I super think he's dope. I say it's literally every year. It's kind of getting. It's like a It's very repetitive. T Grizzly is a super dope streamer, super dope content creator in general. I think they've really positioned themselves to be in a position where they could. I think one day you're gonna see T Grizzly producing his own version of like a power or a snowfall. Like he's really really good at like creating stories and narratives, and you see that a lot how when he's playing GTA RP of course. Anyway, but as far as music, unfortunately, I think while he's mastered his sound, it don't hit in a full album, man. I just can't. It's just not it in a full album. I don't think he's trash in any sense, but I I think it's kind of like Moneybag Yo. If you really really rock with the sound, you're probably super comfortable where Tig Grizzly's at. But for me, I I don't want to hear a bunch of it. And what makes it uber worse is sometimes he'll put these R&B records on the projects.
Oh my
Oh,
god, bro.
those were poop. Close to Grizzly. I will literally sub to your Twitch channel sooner than I'll replay albums like this. This is definitely like a one for me.
Yeah, I don't like this dude's music at all. It's kind of difficult for me to put my finger on exactly why. It's just him as a rapper, I just don't believe it. Like it's not convincing to me for some reason. I don't know if it's his voice or the way he raps or what, but it's just like no, it doesn't work. Beat selection, I do not like at all. Um, yeah, it all comes together to make a very lackluster, not entertaining experience. So I'm gonna give it a one as well.
Damn. I never thought I'd see the day where I'm rating the T Grizzly Project the highest, but I'm gonna give it a two. Um, a lot of the problems you guys said are valid, and a lot of this product was very forgettable. But I do really appreciate I know you said you weren't entertained, Ace, but like the storytelling aspects of his raps when he gets into that bag, I found myself very entertained. Like that outro track, um, I can't remember what it's called, but he has like a multi-part series where he tells like a long-running narrative, and it's just like it's basically like he's just telling the story, but he's rapping it. But it's super entertaining, bro. I'm like just sitting there, like kind of like shocked at the top plot twists and stuff. Like he has the videos to go along with it, so because of tracks like that and the storytelling, I have an appreciation for him. So I'll give this a two, and I'm definitely gonna check out the next part of whatever the outro track was. I gotta look at this
Probably
name.
the robbery series.
Yeah, robbery series. Yeah, robbery 8 was. I should have you on the edge of my seat, bro.
No, it's funny because you're kind of right, but at the same time, I think I might be being a hater a little bit because at that point, like I'm at the end of the album, I'm like, okay, oh, now you want to get all storytelling.
That's
It's
fair.
just
That's
too
fair.
late.
Next we
If
have
he
Big
dropped
X.
like just a robbery EP, that'd be ideal.
That probably is the goal one day, or maybe turn it into a movie, like what I would be thinking,
I watched that shit, bro.
or a series, something like that. Next we have Big X the Plug. Take care. Another double XL freshman. Um, so your people, I feel as if they're the biggest, no pun intended, artists that kind of blew up this year. Um, if you don't know, they're very southern. This album is very reflective of that. They incorporate a lot of samples. This album is very reflective of that, and they're very motivating. They will tell you all about how they came from nothing. They came from the bottom of the bottom, and they climbed themselves out of it. Um, for now, all that sounds good. Uh, listening to this, it's very one dimensional. It's very one note. It's very, um, like I said, very like, uh, I got it. I came from nothing. I came from the bottom. I came from scraps. I ate and I climbed and I climbed, and I finally got to where I am. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's obviously a lot of artists that we consume that have that similar messaging. It's bar after bar of that. And on top of that, I guess maybe we can say 1.5 dimensional. It's a lot of also getting off, from what I interpreted, the grievances of the past. Like there was a lot of like you know, people didn't really give me any level of help or no handouts when I was on my way up. And yeah, there's just a lot of that is on the album. And if you use that to motivate yourself, then you'll love it. Um, I can only take so much of it. But there's obviously they have a tremendous amount of I don't know, I'm maybe tremendous. I may use that too liberally. They have a decent level of skill that's going to carry them as far as they probably want to go. Especially if they do some more collaboration and keep using those samples, even though that probably is a bit expensive. It's a two. It's mid.
Yeah, this guy for me, he's one of those situations where I'm not sure if it's because I dislike Southern rap so much that it just doesn't work. Because I think he is skilled as a rapper. He does like the triplet flow thing, but I mean the main problem there is that's all he does. And yeah, like Quest said, the lyrical content is very one note, even though he can rhyme. It's like, all right, you keep saying the same things over and over. And also, we already had the baby whose sound we got tired of
Yep.
very quickly, and he's just kind of the baby part two. Like
I think that's
it's
what I was saying
very
while we were
much the
listening to
same
it. Yep.
thing. So yeah, ah, I struggle with the score for this one. I'll go two. I'll go two. It's not trash, but I didn't like it that much, like, or really at all. It's very mid.
Um, Even though I'm gonna go two as well, I think I enjoy this project and him in general a little more than y'all, because even though he has that same southern flow on like every track and he doesn't vary up anything, it just I don't know, I just enjoy it. I don't know how to really explain it, but
Yeah,
like when he drops more, I'm definitely gonna be checking for his other projects. He has some songs of his like I really really like. It's kind of dependent on the production to carry a little, but he just has like well, he just has like the sauce to him. Like I'm just kind of I'm intrigued. I'm gonna be checking for him. But this product in general, it was a two because again, kind of repetitive. But I'm gonna see where he goes. Maybe he improves and gets better.
Nothing wrong with that. Next we have Glorilla, Glorious. I think this is Glorilla the main product for this year. I think when all the lists come out, they're probably already out at the time of recording. I think this is the product that people are gonna have on the list because again, Glorilla was very popping this year, undeniably, and this one had a lot of their bangers too. Um, yeah, to be honest, I don't think I have ultra negative things about to say, ultra things to say about Glorilla. I can acknowledge they do make very fun music. Um, a lot of what they are rapping about is not applicable to a lot of people. Again, I feel as if they take the I will steal your N and send him back home and then have him come back to me because it make me a sandwich. She takes that to like the nth, like the 10th degree. So people are not gonna be able to relate to it, but I think it's still like fun and something people can like bop to. Um, yeah, I think they have definitely. You know what I will say? They definitely improved their artists, which they deserve a bunch of credit for that. In so much, I'm probably gonna give them a relatively favorable score because if y'all remember, at like the turn of last year, maybe 2022, like people were laughing out at the park for making that cha 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 record, cha 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 cha, and instead of taking that and like continue going down that route, they said no, I'm gonna make bangers, and so much that even Ace likes some of these records. Yeah, Glorilla does a lot right. Um, some of the lyrics are questionable again because they are so engrossed in the character that is Glorilla, but some of that is just generically them. If you see some of the way they talk and have do interviews, um, while I don't particularly find myself going to be bumping it a lot, I don't think I would ever turn off Gorilla when it's being played. I'll give it a three. I'll give it a three.
yeah. I mean, actually, I remember the first project we listened to from her. liking a few of the tracks off of that one. I think it was just an EP, but I don't know. I really like Glorilla's personality, and I think that kind of carries through to my appreciation of her music. Um, and yeah, with this album, I think that shined through a lot. Like there was a lot more that I liked here, and I wouldn't even say not or just didn't find entertaining. Like she was very entertaining throughout. I liked how um even like with some of her lyrical content, while it's not for me, I feel like she does what I like in terms of um like there'll be different tropes or different common things in or common themes in rap or especially like female rap that she'll kind of flip on its head and be like, no, I'm not about that type of stuff type thing too. So um I don't know. I really appreciate her overall. And this album was a very solid outing. So I'm gonna go with the three as well. Um, and yeah, we already did the other one where I said I would give it a point. I gave it a 0.5 because yeah, her whenever she dropped is it's worth checking.
What do you like about their personality, sir? Is it like the
She
southern
it's just
elements
some
or
yeah,
the lower IQ-ness of it?
He
What do you
likes
like
her
about
personality.
it? Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
no, she
curious.
just seems like a kind of fun. I mean, you can't really say innocent, but um,
Yeah, you most certainly cannot.
ah, like she
Don't
does.
worry, Ace. Don't
Even
worry.
though
We know
even
Ace.
though
Don't
no,
worry.
it's not
We
even that.
know.
It's like
I
even though
know what it
I
is.
don't.
I said it. I know
It's
what it
not.
is.
It's not what you guys are saying because I don't see her in like an overly sexualized way.
I didn't say sexual.
Um,
I think you and a lot of people like her because she's low IQ. I'm gonna say what you.
really?
I'm gonna say what no one else is trying to
No,
say.
that would be like that would I would apply that to a sexy red. I don't even think she's low IQ. I don't think that at all.
Do you
I
know?
don't think that.
Do you know the high level education this young sister has?
You can be low education level and not be a dumbass. Like
I didn't say she's a dumbass, but the fact that you can articulate it lets me know everything I need to know. It's all good. What
All
about you?
right.
What about you, Ghost?
Our like of Glorilla aside, it's funny. I was gonna say something similar, like her personality. I mean, what I find funny about, enjoy about her personality is just she seems funny, like from the interviews and stuff, and just that southern charm, I guess in general, is kind of like enjoyable to me. But this project, it had potential. I appreciate some of the concepts she was going for, like the gospel track with Kirk Franklin, Kira Shear. Like it was all right. Like the prayer track she had, but a lot of it, like conceptually, I saw what she was going for, but it just didn't hit for me. Like I think the low point of the album is probably the feature where the other artists are saying like you're not good enough for her. Like, it was just kind of like I got what they were going for, but it just was not executed well at all. It was pretty cringe. This is a one for me. I will. I'm definitely gonna check for her stuff, but I just think the execution on this project was not there.
Next, we have Rod Wave Last Lap. I feel as if um we were doing this podcast in public. I would have to watch my back when I say this, but I have like no interest in Rod Wave. I don't. I honestly don't understand how they have such a large fan base, but we're not here.
No pun intended.
We're not necessarily here to harp on that. I just zero. I don't find myself interested in Rod Wave.
yeah, zero. I don't like it. I don't like his stuff.
Easy there.
Next, we have Common and Pete Rock, the legend. The Auditorium, um, Auditorium, Volume One. Pete Rock is so damn good, and Common is definitely a legend, as well. Um, I feel as if Common. I was about to say something. I was about to say the most corniest Common doesn't get the respect he deserves, and some people don't think he's actually that great. I'm not gonna. No, none of that's needed for my rating. Listening to this album, there's like so much quality in it, like almost a surprising amount. Which it's not. It shouldn't be surprising because again, Pete Rock's involved. But I feel as if like, I mean, I guess if I really think about it, maybe one could argue like some of the mixing wasn't like high tier quality movie production standard. But as far as just like song after song, like none of it was bad at all. It's definitely a three for me.
Yep, I'm gonna go three as well. It was just a very solid outing. Um, Common was rapping, beats work, like just works.
Man, you might have wanted to get some of your common defense out there, because I'm gonna go on. I'm about to slander common right now, bro. He sounds. He basically sounds like he did 20 years ago, which is good in a way, but also brings like the fact that this dude is the corniest rapper alive. Like lyrically, just so much of his bars are really bad. Like just objectively bad. When you go and
Well, I don't
listen
know
to
why
him,
you
you're
would
like
say objectively, but okay.
objectively in my mind, which I don't but
Oxymoron, but go on.
like he so much of his stuff he says is just like if we really sit back and like you're saying that, it seems like he's just saying shit just to rhyme, and it's the most non sequitur generic BS bar that comes out of nowhere, and it's really cringeworthy and corny. And I don't think Common gets enough hate, to be honest, because I'm not saying I've enjoyed Common products in the past. Like obviously the Kanye collab was top tier, but even in that, he's just perpetually corny. Nothing he's ever said lyrically has stood out or stuck with me ever. And I don't know, on this project it's kind of more of the same. Like I'm never gonna listen to this again because I don't want to hear like I'm just waiting for Common to say some dumb, stupid, lame line that's like had me rolling my eyes. Pete Rock was good, as Pete Rock always is, legend of legends. But this is the two, and it's lucky it's getting that. This could be a one, low key, because I did not enjoy Coming at all.
Next we have Gunna, 1-1. Nice double entendre. Um, yeah, I don't know. Gunna is I've always maintained, and obviously salute to him for getting it, beating that case, and going about, well, not beating the case, but getting the best deal out of that case and going about his business, and honestly coming on to like a really well received, warm reception. And the fact that he was able to come home and just make a bunch of music that everybody particularly likes, except me, it doesn't move me. And I've tried it. It's like Travis Scott. I've tried it. I'm trying to hear what y'all hear. It didn't connect. So I'm not gonna even try to feign. Uh, I'm trying to be hip or trying to get hip. It's zero for me.
Yeah, zero. I do not understand the appeal at all.
Um, a point 0.5. I'm still holding out hope that Gunna comes out with something compelling like he has in the past. Um, I'll give it a try.
Next we have Yeet Lifestyle. You can yeet that away from me. I have zero interest.
Ah, and this might be another situation where the album art kind of puts me off here. Don't
This is
recognize this guy's name off rip, but the ski mask thing, the gun, yeah, it's not, it's not, it's not grabbing my interest. So zero.
um I actually don't mind Yeet generally. I'm still not intrigued enough to listen to this album. Zero.
Next we have Tyler the Creator. I never know how to say his name. It's an album name actually. Chrome
Chromacopia.
Chromacopia. Thank you. What's funny, and it kind of reminds me of why I said odd music earlier about JPEG Mafia. Now that Tyler can't or isn't making music, that's akin to like Bastard or Goblin or Yonkers. It kind of does sound like JPEG Mafia music, except with way more coordinated production. Like it's weird, odd if you will, but it doesn't like it's not breaching any barriers. It's just the production's really nice. And I don't mean nice as in high quality. I just mean like, um, it's production that he's like crafted. And as far as like lyrical, he's kind of just like I don't know. As someone that's like really came to appreciate those Our Future days, uh, this doesn't really have a place in my catalog of like stuff that I'm gonna have in rotation. But obviously, you still have to acknowledge the fact that it's probably some of the better Sonic, no, not Sonic, better crafted music that's being made in this day and age. I'll give it a two. It's mid.
He's just mid. I think there's a chance I'll like this album, but I didn't get to it, so I'm gonna give it a point 0.5.
I think your review of it, Quest, is pretty much exactly in line with mine. I don't understand people putting this at like top of the year, top album of the year list.
Absolutely not.
I'm kind of lost on that. Like again, well crafted, production was good. Like the teaser, I like the production on that little teaser track the best, but none of the album really lived up to it. Kind of mediocre. He's done it before. This type of sound, this concept. I don't think he was breaking any barriers. Lyrically, it's kind of the same old, same old. Probably not going to revisit it. It's a two.
Yeah, Tyler needs to find something new immediately if you want to keep making music.
Apparently not, because people love this album. So maybe he just keeps doing this.
True. Next, we got Freddie Gibbs. He only died once. Man, salute to Freddie. He might be the opposite of something that came on and said keep coming on and saying like there's artists that I don't really rock with their music, but outside of music, I find them enjoyable, entertaining, in some other capacity. I think if it wasn't for the music, Freddie Gibb would be like laugh out the park every day, all day.
Damn.
But here's our music. Yeah, Freddie Gibbs almost doesn't mess with projects. It's kind of spooky, and it's kind of spooky when you think about the music in relation to all the nonsense. Um, it's just crazy. Freddie Gibbs is like super dope, and he almost doesn't miss. It's really a four to be honest. It's like consistently like it's really good. I can't say
Yeah,
anything
this is
about
a
it.
project. This is a project I forgot to listen to, so it's a point 0.5.
Um, I'm going back and forth between a three and a two. It's good. You're right. Freddie Gibbs never has actual bad project, which is kind of crazy. On first listen, this didn't really draw me in too much. I think if I listen to it again, I might enjoy it more. I'll give it a three. It was decent to good. It wasn't blown away, but I'll revisit it, check it out more.
Next we have IDK, Bravado Plus, Intimo. Um, man, I really want to listen to this, and it feels like we listened to something else instead.
Yeah, how did we not listen to this? I want to listen to this as well.
I'll take the blame for it. It's a point 0.5. It's really something I really want to listen to.
Yeah, likewise, point 0.5, I guess. Thought we listened to this one.
Yeah, I really wanted to listen to this. I don't know how I forgot, but 100% on the list. By the way, maybe like two, three more, and then we can call it if that's cool with y'all, cause
I'll
I need
keep my
to get ready.
I'll keep my eye on the clock, and this should be relatively quick. Let's say Lose the Vert, Eternal Take Two. If anything, if it's worth anything, we don't necessarily have to feel too bad about this because it was universally panned as like Lil Uzi isn't making great music anymore. It's not hitting. Um,
Good.
so so yeah, this is definitely a one. To be honest, it's like one of those moments where like y'all just saying it's not hitting, and obviously he has bangers as we know, but it's kind of sounded like this for a while. So I don't know what new things people are hearing or not hearing, but yeah, it's trash.
Yeah, one.
So Uzi dropped a Pink Tape last year. I rated it a one because it was garbage, and I wasn't expecting anything good from this project. It was so much worse than my worst nightmares that
Oh,
this project is the reason why we have the prestigious negative
God,
one,
look at
which
that
is
color.
what we're gonna get assigned. It was so dreadfully awful that I'm struggling to put into words how bad it was. Like I'm kind of in shock that he released this project and thought it's like and it's acceptable. Like this is something you throw in the trash and you never pick it out again. But he released this shit. Like I. There's really nothing more to say. Y'all listen to the problem. You know how shit it is. Like, I just think that like Perky, I think Perky Sex might be the worst track of all of them, but it's just so. I feel like debased listening to it. Like it's just offensively bad and really kind of laughable. It's just I don't have anything really eloquent to say. It's just dog shit. It's really atrocious. One of the worst albums I've ever listened to. Kind of a disgrace, to be honest. Like really awful.
Jesus. Loser, if you're hearing this, you need to go all the way back to the drawing board. If we hate it and your fan base don't really like it, well. But with that, we will leave it there and come back on episode. So, Burger.
Didn't even get to my fives yet.
Oh, I'm sure you're. I'm sure they're just revving to go. So yeah, again, apologies for listeners, but we appreciate any and all listeners and bearing with us. Don't forget to like the video. All right, we'll be back later.
Why is this average not working? I'm just going to change the formula for this one.